Hi, my name is Joe, also known as JSNIP4. That's JSNIP, the number 4. Realist News on YouTube. And I am going to try to save you from yourself by teaching you everything there possibly is to know about cryptocurrencies, totally for the beginner. And I'm going to teach you everything you've ever wanted to know about cryptos, how to trade them, how to sell them, and most importantly, how to stay safe. That's me in the middle. And while I'm not exactly Luke Skywalker, that fellow that looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi is a friend of mine named Cliff High. And the other guy, Chewbacca, so to speak, is another friend, Bix Weir. We all have YouTube channels, and we all talk about cryptos and other things. And Luke Skywalker's job was to protect the people from the dark side. And that's why I want to start out this video, protecting you from the dark side. First and foremost, if you've never seen me before, you may want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And again, I'll just put a little link up here. JSNIP4. If you just go to youtube.com/JSNIP4, I will actually show up and you can subscribe. Because I talk about cryptocurrencies all the time, amongst other things that I just feel are newsworthy happening in the world, or in our country, in this case America, which is where I'm from. But one of the first things you need to be aware of when dealing with cryptocurrencies, you want to get in, you're hearing all these people making money, and by the way, guilty as charged, made some good money on cryptos, and I just taught people on YouTube everything that I knew. But I'm seeing an issue now with the massive attacks from scammers, hackers, you name it. It's getting out of control. And I want to tell you what things to stay away from, because they're going to come your way, and you're going to risk your money, your cryptos on some of these things, and you're going to lose it all. And I'm going to advise you, although you can do whatever you want, I'm going to advise you which ones to stay away from, and other similar ones that I'm sure will come later on down the road that will replace those other scams, and you'll be able to recognize them easily that, oh, this is one of those scams, I'm staying away. So on that note, I want to talk about the security issues, the scam issues that the whole cryptocurrency world has been experiencing as of November 2017. There are hackers out there that are able to put your phone number in their name, take over your phone essentially as if they put a new phone on your account, because they can figure out your phone number, your email address, your full name. That's the 3 main things they need to do this. And then I'm not sure how they're getting the PIN, but they're able to do it. And then they call in your phone provider, tell them, oh, hey, this is Joe Smith. Got a new phone. I need help. I can't activate it. Oh, okay. And they answer a few questions. Yep. What's the PIN? Yep. Next thing you know, your phone doesn't work. The hacker's new phone does work. And he's got your phone number now assigned to his new phone, which it's an old junky phone that he probably bought from Craigslist or something somewhere. And most of these people are in other countries. What that enables them to do is to try to log into any exchange, cryptocurrency exchange, your Gmail account, if you use Gmail, your Coinbase account, that's an exchange, Gemini account, another exchange, Kraken, another exchange, Bittrex, another exchange, and some of these other ones. And they'll try to log in, and it will say, sorry, because they may not know your password. That's okay, they've got the phone now. Send me my password link. And they'll send you a code. They'll text you a code, of course. They use the code to reset the password on your account. You're locked out of it now. Now they can go and start trading cryptos that you may have already had in there. And of course, they're just going to not even trade them. They're going to take them right out and transfer them to their own wallet. And once that happens, you're pretty much finished. So the most important thing a person can do when getting into cryptos, it's the first step. You must enable what is known as two-factor authentication, or 2FA. Two-factor authentication on every single cryptocurrency website that you ever visit, that you ever sign up to, etc. And I'm talking mostly these exchanges. They pretty much all offer it. And it's usually the phone app known as Google Authenticator. Before we get into that, I want to tell you what things you should probably stay away from. There's these things, again, currently in the year 2017, November, this year, there's these things known as lending platforms. They want you to give them your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever coin. You give it to us, and we're going to do something back here, and we're going to give you incredible interest every single day. 1%, 2%, 12%. I mean, it's crazy. And you're thinking, wow, if I put in $10,000, I can get $100 a day in interest every single day? Correct. The problem is, these are Ponzi schemes, and they've added multi-level marketing in with them. So you jump in and you get your people, your friends, your family to go under you, and then they get people under them. The bottom line is they never show you what they do with your cryptocurrency. They make a claim that we're doing something, we're trading the Forex market, or we've got these incredible products in the other part of the world and we're selling them and people love them. And they're going to tell you every story in the book, but the blueprint is the same. Give us your cryptos. We're going to do something, and it changes. Something with it. And then you're going to earn the interest. And you can't pull all your money out for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months sometimes. So it's got to stay in there. But you can earn interest. But they don't want you to take the interest out. They want to make sure you leave the interest in there and let it compound. So rather than take, for example, $10,000, you get $100 a day. Don't just take it out. Put it back in so it compounds. So by the end of your 4, 5, 6 months, this thing's been compounding. Then you're about to start making some serious money when you can pull it out. The problem is that's right around the time the Ponzi ends. Like all Ponzi schemes, the first people in are usually the only people who will get out and be able to say, not only did I get my investment out, but I did make a little profit on top of it. And there's a recent one that everyone swears is not one of these, known as BitConnect. And the problem with that one is, and this goes for some of the other ones, if you're willing to relinquish your Bitcoin for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 months, some of these need your money, your coins for length of time. Someone was telling me they made all their money back. They were the first one in, one of the first ones in, made all their money back, $46,000 approximately, call it 45, and then made an additional 20. So they made like 65. The problem is the price of Bitcoin, had that person left their 22 Bitcoins alone and didn't invest in this Ponzi, even though he came out one of the lucky ones and pulled out 20K on top of his initial investment, if he would have just left his Bitcoins alone in his own wallet and didn't do anything with them, the price of Bitcoin was between $1,500 and $2,000 during this time frame. As I'm talking to you right now, November, end of November, actually the 25th, 2017. That $1,500 to $2,000 Bitcoin is touching $9,000, $8,600 and climbing. You'd have been better off not doing it, not risking in these Ponzi schemes. The key, though, is while you'll see a lot of people pushing them, is like all multi-level marketing, the more people under you, the more bonus money, referral money comes in for you. So you're going to hear people telling you how much money they've actually taken out, but they're taking out their referral money. Not you, who's at the bottom or has 1 or 2 people under them. You're not going to be that. Again, by the time you get there and you want to close out and take your money and run, the thing has already failed. So anything that sounds like that, where you got to relinquish your tokens to some other entity, and they're going to do some magic with it and return credible interest. My opinion, stay far away. People are going to convince you every way in the world why it's a good idea. And ultimately, when these things blow up, lives will be ruined. Friendships will be destroyed. Relationships will be killed. Because even though it looked good at first, when everyone tried to get the money out and they couldn't, they're going to look at you. You told me about it. So my advice is to stay far away from that kind of stuff. You simply, and here's the simplest terms. Joe, I don't want to mess with all the crazy, even the trading and stuff. I don't even need to know that. I just want to get in on some basic stuff. All you have to do is buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Those are the main coins. You can usually buy them on pretty much any exchange. And the two exchanges I want to talk about today are ones that I trust the most out of all exchanges. And even though I say that, my rule is the same rule I have with the silver. See the silver coin? If I don't hold it, I don't own it. What does that mean? If I have a piece of paper on the COMEX market, the futures market, that says I've got a contract with these things, I don't actually have these. It's just a piece of paper, right? So if I'm going to buy silver, I'm not going to buy it on the COMEX market. I'm going to buy a real thing. I'm going to go to the coin dealer or go online and buy it, and then it's going to be shipped to me. I'm not storing it in a safe deposit box. I'm not storing it at some facility. It's in my possession. The same can be said about cryptos when you control your own wallet. And the wallet is an application that you put on your computer or cell phone. I don't use the wallet application on my cell phone, although you're going to need the two-factor authentication I'm about to tell you about. That will be on your cell phone. So just keep in mind, as I'm going through this, I'm telling you how to trade from here to there, move this and all that. Once you have those coins, those cryptos, I would advise getting them off any and all exchanges and putting them on your own wallet application. And there's one I'm going to tell you about known as Exodus, and we're going to go through that. So first and foremost, security. Stay away from those Ponzi's. They're going to get emailed to you, etc. You're also going to get emailed very real looking emails that you think are from the exchange, like Coinbase that you just signed up with, or Gemini. And it says, click here to, something happened with your account, click here. And we're going to go over that to make sure it's legit. And in a moment. The other thing is you may be searching the internet as you start to get comfortable with this stuff and looking for certain things, and you're looking for a certain website, and you want to join what is known as an ICO. In the stock trading world, those are called IPOs, initial public offering. We're going to go public, and here's our stock, and here's how valuable they're going to be, and whatever. It's a fundraising mechanism. ICOs are called, excuse me, they're called ICOs because they're initial coin offerings. And you can get these things many times for pennies, 30 cents, 50 cents, $1 less, who knows, 10 cents, 8 cents. And the goal is, of course, to treat it like a stock, like the stock market. These are like companies IPOing, or in this case, ICOing. And I want to get in on it because when they hit the exchange, I hope that the value goes up. Or I don't care if the value doesn't go up at all when it first hit the exchange, because I know in another 6 to 8 months, when this company really gets rolling with what their ideas are for this ICO, it's going to be valuable. So I'll just sit on them for 5 or 6 months or whatever, or a year. Right? In either case, you may want to start playing with that because there's some huge gains to be made in that field. But it is a bit more riskier, and you got to know what the heck you're doing. You don't want to accidentally send your coin somewhere, that sort of thing. So I want to share this screen with you. And I just typed up here in Google, ICO calendar. And notice the ads, add, and then the regular stuff comes up. The first one is tokenmarket.net/ICO calendar. Okay. What the hackers and the scammers have done is paid for an ad for a legitimate website, such as this one, myetherwallet.com. And what the hackers did was, see where the W is for wallet? They registered a domain name with 2 V's, Volet, not wallet. They copied the exact site. It looked exactly like this. And when people would search Google for my Ether wallet, because that's what most of us adults for some reason do. We don't just type in at the top where we should, up here. You should be typing it up here. You should be typing myetherwallet.com and then hit enter at the address bar. But because we don't usually do that, for whatever reason, a lot of us just like to type my Ether wallet, let Google search for us, and then it gives us results. Now in this particular case, the first website is the correct one, myetherwallet.com. So I know if I click here, I know it's going to take me to the right spot. And when I do that, I'm going to look. I know that this one always says, and this is going to be one I talk about, by the way. That's why I'm using this as an example. My Ether Wallet LLC US. This is the real deal. Okay. However, going back to Google, in the example I showed you, there were ads coming up like this that even said, my Ether wallet. So even though someone searched up here for my Ether wallet and then hit the search button, the first thing they saw was an ad. Even though the website, the real website, was down buried below, of course, because in the search engines, the paid advertisements always come up first. So what this took you to, if you clicked on this, just an example, you clicked on it and it took you to the fake site, the MyEther with the double V's, myetherwallet.com. And it looked just like this. And people said, oh, I want to transfer some tokens. I need to send some tokens somewhere because I want to get in on an ICO. And they came over here, and they put their private key in like you have to do. And as soon as they put that private key in and hit unlock, they sent it to the wrong website because they're on a fake website, a hack website. And now they've got your private key. So anything you had on this platform, which we're just going to call it that for the time being, they now have your private key, and they will promptly go in and clean you out and send all your tokens, all your Ethereum, all whatever you have on this platform, which are basically Ethereum type of coins, the ERC20 coins that use the Ethereum blockchain, or your Ethereum itself if you have them sitting here. So that's another scam. So how do you stay away from that? Type in, once you know that you're at the right place, type it in at the top here. So whenever I go here, I already know my Ether wallet is the same one I always type, enter, takes me here. You can quickly hit your bookmark. Now I'm using the Google Chrome browser. And by the way, I do recommend that one for everything crypto related. So all you have to do is hit this, hit the favorite bookmark. It's going in the bookmarks bar. Of course, you can change it if you have another spot. My Ether wallet, done. Now going forward, anytime you want to come here, hit this little dots over here, 3 dots, go to bookmarks, and then you have my Ether wallet, the one you put on here. Even though I'm doing it that way, I'm still going to absolutely look at this thing and make sure my Ether wallet, LLCUS, yep. MyEtherWallet.com, yep. Now we're not seeing these kind of hacks anymore. I haven't seen any of the advertising hack fakes ever since they started a little while ago, a while back, about a month ago. Those seem to be gone now, but I just want to make you aware that if you search for stuff rather than type it in, you risk the chance of an advertising popping up. It looked like these 4 ads, and you're going to click on it, and it may even show you right here where the address is. It might even show you the right address. Because a lot of times when you pay for advertising, you can put any domain name you want on there, any URL, and then when they click on it, or you click on it, it takes you to the real one that the ad's paying for to take you to, which is their fake site. So one of the things I plan on doing, because I do some development work programming myself, I'm going to ultimately create a program in which you can just click buttons and say, take me to my Ether wallet. Or click a button, take me to Ether Delta Exchange. Click a button, take me to the Kraken Exchange. Click a button, take me to the Bittrex Exchange. Coinbase, Gemini. You just click a button. It's in my program. That particular program is a Windows-based program. I haven't developed it yet. And one of the things I'm considering is I may do this all on a website where you have to log in. And then once you log in, there'll be other tabs you can bounce around to get to where you need to get to, and know if I click on the link from this website I'm talking about that I'm going to develop, you know it's real. You don't have to worry about bookmarks or anything either. It'll be the real deal. So that's something that I may do later. So you just have to kind of stay up with me and follow what I'm doing, whether you subscribe on YouTube or whatever, for when that comes out. So now that the security stuff is out of the way, one person did tell me that if you're not using 2-factor authentication on all these websites, and you should be on all these crypto sites, with the exception being myetherwallet.com, there's no need for it here. And I'll explain that later. But the old hack I was telling you about where they took over someone's phone, they called into Verizon or whoever and said, oh yeah, it's me, Joe Smith, and next thing I know, you can call your phone company and tell them, I never, ever, ever want you to add a new phone or take my old number and give it out like as if I got a new phone unless I'm in one of your branch stores in person with my photo ID to prove I am who I say I am. That was one thing that people said will stop that. Now, the people who got hit with that attack, by the way, only these kinds of people who were in those Ponzi schemes I was telling you about, these high interest, and they're called HYIPs or HYPs, HYIPs, high yield investment platform or product or whatever, high yield investment platform. And those are the Ponzi schemes, the MLM, multi-level marketing mixed in with them. Everybody that was pushing those and who were actively in those, using them, were the only people who got hacked. Okay? So what that tells me is if you are brave enough to try and get into one of these Ponzi schemes, and they ask for your name, your phone number, your email address, which you probably very easily will put in, now they've got the main three things they need to try to take your account over with the phone company. And I'm suggesting that because these are Ponzi criminal websites anyways, the criminals are realizing we'll do a double whammy on you. Not only are we going to screw you out of the cryptos you think you're going to get in interest by the time this thing ends, but now we have some key information on you, and we're going to try to hack all your other accounts because we've got your phone number, your full name, and the password you use to log into our Ponzi website, and phone number. And most people use the same damn password for everything. So it's not real hard for them to try to log into Gmail as you with your password successfully, and then start rummaging through your email, searching for private key or cryptos or Bitcoin and see what comes up. And if you're also silly enough to store your private keys online, like in an email, you're crazy. You risk getting hacked. And then again, once someone has your private keys for these cryptos, you're done. Anybody who has anybody else's private key can clean them out. There'll be no stopping them. So that's another thing. You don't want to ever store your stuff online. And we're going to get to that. So I'm going to switch screens now. And got a little PowerPoint I'm going to share with you. So the first thing you're going to want to do on your phone, whether it's iPhone, Android, whatever, you're going to want to get what is known as the Google Authenticator. Okay? Google Authenticator and Authy. This one. This one's going to be used for the Gemini exchange. And this one is going to be used for Coinbase, as amongst other things. You're going to need it for other websites. A lot of websites will use the Google Authenticator. Okay? So on your phone, go to the Play Store or the App Store or whatever, and you're going to search for Google Authenticator, install it. Then you're going to search for Authy, two-factor authentication, this red one. They look exactly like that. Just these two. That's it. Install them, and you're good to go at this point. Now, Authy you may have to create a Gemini account first. So you may have to go through the Gemini account creation process first, which I'm about to run you through in a second, and then get Authy. But you can definitely get the Google Authenticator right away. Okay. So the next step is what the Google Authenticator looks like on my phone, holding it in my hand. And on the right side, those little blue dots are essentially a Pi. And it's a timer. And it lasts about 30 seconds or so. And then every time it goes down to 0, a new number is displayed on all of those. So all those accounts could be your Kraken account, your Gemini account, your Coinbase account, your this account, right? That's what those numbers represent. So every time you log into those websites, those exchanges, it's going to tell you what's the two-factor code. And you're going to pull up, most of the time, it's going to be Google Authenticator. The only one time that I know of you're going to need Authy is only for the Gemini exchange. Okay? So I'm just showing you an example of what it looks like. And I would, if that top one was, let's say, Gemini, well, actually Gemini would be using Authy, but whatever. You would be putting in that number because it would tell you what's your email address, what's your password, log in. Then the next screen says, hey, wait a minute, what's the two-factor authentication? And then you need to punch that in. Open up your phone, see what the code is, punch it in. Now, if that little pie chart I'm telling you on the far right, those 3 dots, if it's almost about to expire, don't put it in. Just wait a second. Let it refresh and get a new number. That way you've got, 20 or so seconds to put it in, hit the button next or whatever, and you're good to go. When you first join these websites, a lot of times they'll let you join right away without 2-factor authentication. They'll just say, hey, we suggest 2-factor, but you can do it later. I'm here to tell you, don't put it off. You might have to sign up without 2-factor authentication, but the second you sign up and everything's in there, your account, you got it, you've verified the email, all that crap, go in and set up 2-factor. And what happens is, once you get to the page on that website, it's usually one of these exchanges that I'm talking about, there'll be a section about security, whatever. Click here to enter 2-factor, yes. And then this little barcode looking thing known as a QR code shows up. You're going to go into your Google Authenticator and you'll see the little plus sign to add a new website that needs authentication. Go ahead and do it. It'll turn on your camera on your phone and you'll see your camera. You're going to scan your monitor, your screen, your computer screen. You're going to scan that QR code that's staring you in the face. And it will instantly know that belongs to that website and we're good. Like instantly, you're happy. It's done. Then you will see in your Google Authenticator app, all of a sudden a new entry was created. Oh, it was for Coinbase and it's got the numbers and they keep resetting every 30 seconds or whatever. You're good. That's how you set it up once you're in there. So every one of these websites, crypto related, and again, it's usually the exchanges only that you need to be concerned with for the most part, that have the 2-factor authentication. You want to enable it. If you're going to be doing anything there, you want to enable it. Because even if these hackers could get your phone and transfer the phone number to them, if they don't have your physical phone in their hand and you have 2-factor authentication turned on, they won't be able to take your stuff. But again, some of these Ponzi sites, they don't allow 2-factor authentication. They don't want it. So you sign up using name and password only and your phone number, whatever, and maybe it texts you a login or something or a password, which usually they don't even do that. In those instances, you can get stolen from, which is why another reason I'm telling you, stay away from those freaking Ponzi schemes. Anything that even sounds like it, stay away. Don't even trust it. It's not worth it. So you've now added your code. You can now log in, right? So this one, first one we're going to talk about is Gemini. In the website, like the top left, Gemini, it's Gemini.com. It is simply Gemini.com. And I'm going to go to my other site, my other screen, excuse me, just so you know what it looks like. So I actually needed to add something to this section of security, hacking, that sort of thing, because I just had a YouTube subscriber. And again, my channel is JSNIP4J, letter J, SNIP4. Matter of fact, I'll put it on the screen right now. YouTube.com/JSNIP4. And they emailed me and said, man, I think I just got cleaned out and it might have even been my fault. And I thought, well, what exactly happened? He was on his laptop and was on a website. He was trying to update drivers to a GPS device that he had plugged into the laptop. And the thing came up about, you need driver help, call this number, 1-844 something or another. As soon as you see the number 844, stop. It's fake. And it looks real, it's Microsoft or it's this person. Next thing you know, you're talking to an Indian or a Pakistani who's trying to tell you, I need to control your computer remotely to help you. And then you let them and hit yes, yes, yes. And then they get into your computer. And this particular guy had a folder on his desktop about Coinbase, the exchange, crypto exchange. Oh, sir, we have Coinbase account too. You can pay us for helping you tonight through that. Okay. So he logs into his Coinbase, puts in his 2-factor authentication. The guy's still controlling his computer. He had half a Bitcoin in there, worth currently $4,400. And promptly took it all out and sent it to his own wallet, and the guy took off. Gone. You just got to be real mindful of things. If it doesn't sound right, don't do it. So I just wanted to add this to this section. I don't know that a lot of people are going to experience this kind of a thing, but at least you'll remember this story. So if you're browsing the internet and someone fake website thing pops up on you, oh, call now urgently, call Microsoft or call this one, you know it's fake. All right, so always look at the top of the where the address bar is. It should always be HTTPS. S stands for secure. Data transmitted from your computer to theirs is encrypted. That's what the S is, okay? Gemini Trust Company, LLC, US, HTTPS, Gemini.com, okay? That's how you know you're on the right site. Because again, these scammers, remember the advertising trick, you're searching for Gemini on Google or Yahoo or MSN or wherever, and the ad comes up. Oh, that's it. You click the ad, takes you to a fake website. Always look at the address bar once you get wherever you're going. It should say Gemini.com. Okay, you're going to click this register button, and then you're going to register. Email address is pretty much your account name, password, basic information. Sign up all the way through. At some point, again, this is going to ask you about, this one is going to be asking you about Authy, not the Google Authenticator app, but the other one, that red one called Authy. You will set that up to work with this site as soon as you can. And by that, I mean, like, again, as soon as possible. Once you do that, you're signed in, you're going to set up bank account information. A lot of times your bank will be right inside of, you'll be able to pick it. You drop down, attach your bank account, because ultimately you got to pay for your first set of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever. So in this case, and by the way, this exchange only deals with Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't deal with Litecoin at the moment. They never have so far, just those two. Coinbase, on the other hand, which we're going to go over in a minute, does all three: Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. But that's okay, because you could always switch one coin for another on a different exchange. It can be done. So again, once you're in here, set up your bank account, set up all the information it asks of you. If it needs your ID, copy your ID, do it all. Get fully approved. And on that note, give me a second, and we're going to move on to the next part. All right, so now for the next part. I'm back on my PowerPoint presentation now, but this is screenshots from the website. So once you're set up, you're approved, because you got to get approved. And at one point in time, it was taking a month to 2 months to get approved on Gemini, because tens of thousands of people were joining and joining and joining. By the way, there are still tens of thousands of people joining these places as far as to play the game, to play the crypto game. But I think they may have improved things, added more staff to help process and stuff. Obviously, because every time you make a transaction, they take that little tiny fee. There's always a fee that the exchanges get, always. That's everywhere in the world. So believe me, the quicker they can get on the ball and get these people processed, the more money they're going to make as a company. This particular one, Gemini, from what I understand, is based out of New York. So this is inside America. And I'm real happy about that. So whenever I put money in or take money out because I've sold some cryptos and I'm actually transferring it to USD dollars, I usually always use Gemini. I wire it in and I wire it out, no problems. And I've done this a few times now. So now you're ready, you've got your account signed up, okay? You're approved, etc. They're ready for you to start playing the game, so to speak. So you're going to click on the top menu, transfer funds, hover your mouse, click that. And then you're going to deposit into the exchange, because you have nothing yet. You're ready to put some money in here so you can buy something. So deposit into exchange, and then you have two options: USD bank transfer and USD wire transfer. You're normally going to want to do a wire transfer unless you only plan on doing like maybe $500 or something per shot. In that case, you can get away with US bank transfer because they'll allow you to move a little bit. But if you say, well, no, I'm ready to put 4 or 5, 6 grand in here, I'm ready to start right now, you're not going to be able to use the bank transfer one. You need to go to the wire transfer. But for now, I'm going to cover the bank transfer, and this is the screen it looks like. So once you've clicked on it, this screen is what you will see. Even though I've got the menu showing here, deposit, USD bank transfer. I took a screenshot with that open just so you know this is what it will come up. Daily remaining amount, $500. So each day you can put in 500, 500, 500. I'm the kind of guy that says, well, I know how volatile cryptos are, and right now they're going up. I don't want to be waiting 4, 5, 10 days to get all the money I plan on putting in here. No, I want it there now, like yesterday, so I can play with all of it immediately. You know, buy some cryptos like right now. So that's why I would say you may not want to use USD bank transfer, but there's going to be plenty of you who say, oh, well, that's more money than I want to put in to start with anyways. Then fine, you're good, you can do that. All you're going to do on the left, see right here, US bank transfer, that's why it's highlighted in this little blue color because I've already clicked on it. Funding source, this is where your bank account that you've already selected on the list will show up. You select that bank account because you can put in, I have in here my checking and my savings. I did both. So I can actually pick and choose which one I want. But in this case, pick your bank account and how much money, dollars, you plan on taking out of your bank account and putting into Gemini so that you can then buy some cryptos. Okay. Fill that out. Done. Now notice what it says. Your deposit will be credited to your Gemini account and will be available for trading immediately. It should fully clear into your Gemini account within 4 to 5 days. Now, when you buy these cryptos, this goes for Gemini and Coinbase. When you buy them, it'll say, okay, you're locked in at today's price. You bought, 5 Ethereum or whatever, and that's that. The price goes up or down. It doesn't matter. You already bought it and it's done. You can't access those funds or those cryptos for 4 to 5 days until they fully clear. Once they clear, you can log in here, of course, and look at it every day and see it whenever it clears. Now you can move them out. You can put them on your private, wallet that you control, like the Exodus wallet. Again, I'm going to get into that a little later. Or you could leave them on the exchange and just sit on them and then say, oh, I wonder where they'll be this time next year. And as an FYI, if you bought Bitcoin just 6 months ago, early May, it was $1,500. Actually, if you look, it's actually about $1,300, $1,400 in the very first few days. But we'll just say $1,500. It's almost touching $9,000 6 months later. And when Bitcoin was like $200, $250, and it went to $800, people were saying, oh, there's no way that's going to come down. It kept going back over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. There's like no end in sight right now. Ethereum is breaking records as I'm talking here. Again, November 25th, 2017. Breaking records, both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Litecoin is this close away from breaking its record. So anyways, you deposit it. Once it's there, you can go and do a buy order, which I will show you in a moment. So the other option is deposit USD. Notice how the blue area now is under wire transfer. In this case, you can literally, you could put a lot of money in here and wire it. So my note down here, this is my note in red down here, do a small wire deposit or transfer to start with to make sure it works, make sure there's no problems. You put in the right bank account number, the routing number, right? You got it right. So send a couple $100, $100, whatever, and wait a day or two. It should be there. It should be there the next day, in all honesty, depending on what time you did it. And that's that. Once that goes through and it shows up, oh, Gemini, boop, your money's here. And you see it on that dashboard, you know it's solid. Now, if you need to dump 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, it's going to work. And I say that, again, just do a test to be safe. That's the only reason, just to make sure it works. I'd hate for you to try to throw in 3 or 4 grand, 5 grand, your first attempt, and then them tell you, well, something happened, Again, do a little trial. So, yes, I will tell you some banks allow you to go online and do wire transfers. Most of the time, what I've seen with these exchanges is they, for whatever reason, the banks want you to show up at the bank branch. Yes, here's my ID. Here's my bank card. Here's whatever. Yes, I want to do this wire transfer. Because when you hit that button right there that says get instructions, like if I put $5,000 in, get instructions, it just pops up with the routing and the wire information. It's up to you then to go to the bank, give them that information. And a part of that information, of course, is your account info that will be printed. When you click that get instruction button, it will show you everything you need to know to take to your bank so that it should go through flawlessly. Again, once you get the money, now you can play. So let's say you're ready to go. Your money's in the account. Although you see right here, mine says $0 available to trade. All my money, I've taken my money out, and then what money I did have into these exchanges, I put into cryptos, and now I'm sitting on the cryptos and some wallets, the programs, the wallets. So I have no need to leave funds in here. I have no need to do anything right at this moment. I'm, all my cryptos are out of the exchange, even though I trust this one very much. I'd hate for them to get hacked or some kind of major problem and they lost my coin. I just don't want to deal with that. I do trust this one for sure. And some of you may say, well, I don't care. I'm just going to leave them on the exchange and I'll see what happens in 6 months. Again, my opinion is that this exchange ain't going nowhere. This is solid. But I still tell you, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I'd rather take my stuff off the exchange, sit on it for 6 months, and then say, okay, if I'm going to unload, put it back on the exchange. It'll take just a few moments to put it back on there, and then unload it for cash, money, and then sell it. So here we go. You're ready to go. You got your money in the exchange. You're going to click on the buy button up here. And notice how this is Gemini again. So there's only two options, Bitcoin and Ethereum. There is no Litecoin choice here. It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum. And in this case, this third option, Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're not focusing on that. That would assume you had Bitcoin already on this exchange and you actually want to buy some Ethereum using your Bitcoin. We're not covering that. There's no need to. So we're going USD to Bitcoin. And what I'm about to show you is pretty much identical for USD to Ethereum. So you're going to hit buy and you're going to hit BTC, US dollar, first choice right there. And then this screen's going to come up. And you should see up here, available balance to trade should now show you, if you put $5,000 in there, it should show $5,000 sitting in there waiting on you. So here's some charts, whatever you want to look at some of the stuff. As you can see, freaking Bitcoin 24-hour change, $459. It went up 24 hours. Incredible. And by the way, just as an FYI, sometimes these things go down just as hard as they go up. And they can be breathtaking in a bad way. Like, oh my God, it's below what I paid. And then I just tell everybody, just relax. It'll come right back up. And then it does, and then goes up off to the races again. So just understand that crypto's massively volatile. But it's a stair step of, holy crap, finding, climbing the stairway to heaven, so to speak. So this is what the screen looks like. You're ready to place an order. The order type, you're always going to leave at limit. Just leave it at limit. What that entails is, I want to pay, which it's already filled out. This already filled out, by the way, for you. When I went on this page, it was already telling you what the cost of one Bitcoin was. So what you can do is put it on limit, which tells the exchange, I'm only willing to pay this price that I put in below. Because if you put in a market order instead of limit, all you're saying is, give me the next available order that I can fill and I'll take it. Now, granted, if you do that, I'll tell you, it's going to be at the right price anyways. It'll be fine. But on the one-off chance that something, I don't even know, something happened and the next order that needs to be filled is way higher priced, and you put that off of limit over here and set it to market or whatever, that order will fill with your name on it. So again, leave this alone, leave it on limit. The price is going to be exactly what, as soon as it starts, it's going to be right around where it was at last. So you can do one of two things. You can say, here's the price, and here's the quantity I want. Now, again, normally the price is already set. So what you need to do is leave it where it was at, because again, when this page loads up, this was set staring at me. All I'm concerned about is how many do I want. Now we're talking Bitcoin. So what I put in here was 0.2245 of one Bitcoin. And yes, I could have went even crazier and did something like 0.224578912. It can really go on down the decimal point. You could also put in a full quantity, one Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin. But you do realize 2 Bitcoin, as I'm talking to you, is over $16,000. Which is insane. When you first load this page up, and you're going to buy Bitcoin for USD, it should show you have, you know, $5,000 in here, whatever you wired or whatever your available USD balance is. You're always going to keep the limit order, for reasons I've discussed. The price, as soon as you load this thing up, the price shows up. It tells you exactly what the price of Bitcoin is. So what you need to do is put in let me go back, the appropriate decimal of quantity. How many Bitcoin do you want? Now you could buy a full Bitcoin at approximately $8,600, $8,678. Or in this case, the latest price it looks like was $8,696 over here. This price is set as soon as this page opens. This is already set. Now you could, since you have limit set anyways, say, well, I'm kind of banking on the fact that Bitcoin may come down a few bucks. So I'm going to put my price in, instead of $86.96 like it shows was the last price, I'm going to put it in for like $86.90. Take $6 off it. Quantity, whatever the quantity of Bitcoin you want. In my case, I put 0.2245. Total amount is automatically tallied for you, and it's telling me that this is going to cost me $1,952. Now, granted, if I change that number from $86.96, $8,696, and I decide I want to see if it'll go a little lower, so I'm going to put an order in for a little bit lower, as in $8,690. My order may be sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and not filled. And it is waiting because the price isn't coming down. Actually, it's going up a little higher. And the next thing I know, my order never got filled. And now the freaking price is even higher. My bottom line is, if you're just trying to get in this and get it, don't try to play that game. You go in here and it tells you the price is $86.96.01. Put the quantity of how much Bitcoin you want to get. Again, if you had $2,000, this would have been a perfect amount. 0.2245. It would have given you $1,952 worth of Bitcoin. And then you hit the buy button. Now the fee. See the fee? $4.89. Now when I get into Coinbase, which is another exchange that I do use, their fees are quite a bit more. Like quite a bit more than over here. Just as an FYI. So anyways, if you went right on this page, quickly just typed in the quantity you wanted, the price is already set, and hit buy, chances are that order is going to fill right away. And now you've got, in this case, 0.2245 Bitcoin in your name on this exchange. You won't be able to touch it or do anything with it for 4 to 5 days. Same with Coinbase and this Gemini one. Same thing. I don't know why they make you wait so long sometimes, but whatever. At least once you get it, you can move it off the exchange and then do whatever you want with it. You don't have to worry about that ever again. So that's how you buy. I pulled this up just to show you what Ethereum looks like. It's exactly the same. See where it says buy Ether up here? It's exactly the same. Limit order. The price is already filled in for me. It was $467. And I want to buy 2, let's say. It gives me the total of $934.96. The fee is only $2.34. Yes, I'm happy. Hit buy. Done. Now I've got some Bitcoin and I've got some Ethereum. Again, I'm going to have to wait several days before I can touch them or move them. And when I say touch them, I just mean move them out, in, or sell. You could literally, as crazy as this is, the numbers we've been seeing lately, if you would have bought Ethereum 4 days ago, in Bitcoin 4 days ago, and then today, 4th, 5th day comes, and they're breaking records already, again, and you just log into your account to say, okay, I can finally do what I want with them now because they're not locked up in there anymore. I can move them around. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I made, they're up 15%, 10%, whatever it is. Holy crap, I think I might just sell them and take my profit and run. You could literally do that. Because once you sell off on the exchange, you're going to get USD dollars. And that also is when it becomes a taxable event for your income tax purposes. And these are capital gains taxes, just like stocks and that kind of stuff. So if you're moving cryptos in and out of an exchange or swapping this crypto for that crypto, those are not taxable events. The taxable event is once you, A, put money in, so that means you get to write that off. That's a write-off. And then you took money out and got profit on top of it. That profit, taxable. That's the only time. So anyways, this was Ethereum. Moving on. The sell side of this. And this means either A, you left your things in here, your cryptos in here for however long you felt comfortable, weeks, months, God knows how long, oh my God, these things are massively expensive now, I'm ready to sell. Or you had your cryptos on another wallet, like the Exodus wallet or wherever. And again, I'm going to talk about Exodus later in this tutorial. It's one of my favorite wallets. And it's been sitting over there in your possession, of course, because you want to keep it safe in your own possession. Now you're ready to make a sell order. The Gemini exchange is up, waiting for you to come in there. Great. You're now going to transfer your cryptocurrencies off of your Exodus wallet, in this case, and send them to your address over here on Gemini, which we will go over in a little bit too. But anyways, this assumes you've got your cryptos on the Gemini exchange. You're ready to sell. You're going to click on the sell tab. You're now exchanging Bitcoin. In this case, we're talking about Bitcoin for US dollars. And this is the screen that comes up. Again, you will have a balance of Bitcoin. And if this was what I showed you earlier, it would have said 0.2245, whatever the hell it was, right here, ready to sell. So the currency pair is already filled in. You don't have to touch that. Again, limit order. Now, if you change this to market, which they've got, yeah, again, the same thing applies. If you change this to market, what that is saying is give me whatever the best price is right now. Like, you know, whoever's paying whatever, give it to me. I'll take a market order. Again, it'll be fine. If you want to do a limit order, and honestly, if you want to make sure it goes through, like what I would do, I'd still leave it on limit. And in this case, the price for one Bitcoin, let's assume I had one full Bitcoin, which is why I have quantity 1 here. Let's pretend I had one Bitcoin up here, which it would show up here at the top too. 0 Bitcoin BTC would be 1 BTC. Limit order. The price today is 86.9271. You know what I would do? I would change that to like 86.90, 86.91. Knock $1 off it. Knock a couple bucks off it. Put $1 in there, or excuse me, put quantity 1 in there, not $1. Quantity 1. The price is going to be 86.91. Let's say we knock $1 off of there. And then, of course, it totals up for you the fee. Again, it's a small fee. Only $21 for an $8,600 fee. By the way, this would have cost probably $100 or more on freaking Coinbase. Anyways, hit the sell button. That order should fill instantly if you knock the $1 off that price. I mean, it should sell instantly. Again, I'm talking $8,600. You start to get into something where maybe the price is of one of these coins, and I'm talking maybe a different exchange. Or for example, back when Ethereum was only $100. I don't know if I'm going to knock $1 and make it 99 off Ethereum, but I might knock it down 10 cents. Well, it's only $100, right? 10 cents is a decent amount to knock off $100. That way I know my order fills instantaneously. I'm not sitting there waiting for it to fill. So, moving on. Gemini USD wire transfer, we're going to withdraw, right? We just made a $8,600 whatever profit on that Bitcoin. The money is there immediately, instantly. So you would go to transfer funds. You would go to withdraw from exchange. Again, with the whole bank transfer, it's limited. You're going to do wire transfer. You should already be set up anyways for that. Your bank's in there. Wire transfer it out. I'm telling you, I did this. And I kind of have an incredible story to tell you. And since many people who might be watching this video are not my subscribers, they may not even know this. I was playing one of these cryptos known as Veritasium. I got in at $6. I almost got in at $2, but I forgot. And then I got reminded, hey, it's about, go in there. It's ending this week. Oh, crap. What's the price? Oh, man, it's $6. I didn't care because I had a feeling that this thing was going to go crazy anyways, due to some things that I studied on this. And long story short, it went up to $120 3 weeks later, and I sold off. And when I sold off, I got an enormous amount of Ethereum for selling it on this other exchange. Not this one, a different one, known as EtherDelta, which I'll go through later. And I made an absolute killing, obviously. $6 to $120, and I had a lot of these things. I transferred all those Ethereum right over here to Gemini. Did 4 or 5 different orders because I wasn't about to unload a bunch, hundreds of Ethereum all at once. I waited and did like 10, 30, 40 more, in blocks of, just to I don't want to push the market down as I'm dumping, So I was just like, let me put 10 or 20, another 30 or 40, wait a minute, couple minutes, do it again. Took me, 10 minutes to do that. Money was there instantly. I hit exactly what I'm showing you on this screen, and I put the exact amount in full dollars that I had in that account. I took every penny of it out, except what I did was I put some of it in my savings and some of it in my checking. Only difference. But I did exactly what you see on the screen. Transfer funds, withdraw from exchange, USD, what's the amount? Review it, done, yes, have a nice day. That night, my bank account showed it was there. Much less a freaking day later. It was there that night, which was incredible. So, now we're going to go to Coinbase. And let me go back 1 second, because this screen I think was supposed to show us something and it's not showing us, so hang on 1 second. All right, and we're back. So you're going to now go to Coinbase.com. Again, always look at the URL at the top bar, HTTPS, and then this one is www.coinbase.com. You're going to hit sign up. You're going to do kind of the same thing you did at Gemini, give them the information you need, yada, yada, yada. This one, you can get signed up on like the same day. Whereas Gemini, you might be waiting a little while. I'm not sure. It might take days. It might be still a week or two or more. I don't know. But I always recommend having both of these exchanges. That way you always have access to at least one exchange when you need to unload. Two is better than one, right? Even if there's heftier fees involved at Coinbase, when some of the profits you may be staring at, you may not care that if you waited for Gemini, it was $30, or I had to do it on Coinbase, it was $100, when you just made thousands and thousands and thousands in profit. You know what I mean? Like, you may not care. So you're going to hit sign up, do the full sign up. Again, both of these websites, Gemini needs the Authy app set up, and then Gemini needs the Google Authenticator. So once you get signed up and it's happy and everything, you will see the tab in there, set up security and all that stuff, set up two-factor authentication. Again, pull your phone out, Google app, Google Authenticator, add a new thing, boom. Camera comes on, scan the screen, because you're going to see the little QR code. It looks like a barcode looking thing in square shape. Boop, done. Now it's happy. You've got to do this. This is for security purposes, all right? You've got to do this. Keep your stuff safe. So, here we are with this one. Let me minimize that. And you're going to go click on accounts. Again, this is after you're set up, ready to go. You're going to click on accounts. And way down here, see I've got my ETH wallet, and they have these what they call vaults, where you can like store your stuff. Again, if I'm storing my stuff, I'm going to handle it myself. So the one you can't see at the very top here is a Bitcoin deposit, Ethereum wallet, Litecoin wallet, in this case USD wallet, even though they're calling it a wallet, whatever, USD wallet, because what I'm showing you now is exactly what I just showed you with Gemini, except how to do that on Coinbase, because it's a little bit different. You know, in other words, you sign up at Coinbase, you're ready to put money in there and play the game like we just showed. This is how you do it. So you're going to click on accounts, scroll all the way down to USD wallet, hit the deposit button. And again, you're going to have to set up bank accounts during this process. So make sure your bank accounts are set up. And you can see I have bank deposit or wire transfer. Again, there's those two kind of options again. And Coinbase only allows like $5,000, I think, a week, or is that month? It's crazy. It's kind of low, and it really bothers me. And then if you do the deposit rather than the wire transfer, if you do the deposit, again, it's $500 a day kind of a thing, just like the other one. But anyways, whatever one you pick, you're going to end up doing. Pick, deposit from, pick your checking account or savings or whatever you have set up. The amount in dollars you want to bring from your account over here to Coinbase. Hit continue, done deal. So again, when you do moves, usually this will come up once you've set up two-factor authentication. This will pop up on Coinbase. Hey, what's that special code? And remember what I showed you on my phone earlier, the Google Authentic. You're going to put in the code that's present for Coinbase. And then you're going to hit verify, and then it's going to let you in. Now, sometimes you're going to see an email that comes to you, like this one. Authorize new device. It looks like you're signing into Coinbase from a computer or device we haven't seen before or for some time. Please click the confirmation link in the email we just sent you. And this is the email. Now the email's on the left. I've got this split into two screens, okay? The email's on the left. And it says, new device access. A device, well, yada, yada, what it just said. I authorize this computer. Now I've added this note. Hover your mouse over this because it depends on what your email system is. If you're using Outlook, all you got to do is hover your mouse over this link. And off to the right, over here, that I squared off in the red, it should show something like this. Coinbase confirmations done. This lets you know it's a real email. Now, first of all, because remember, you're going to get spam emails, phishing emails. They're all going to come to you, and they're going to look very legit. You need to be smart enough to say, why is this coming to me right now? Oh my God, did someone just access my account at Coinbase? I didn't do that, but I got a thing here that says I authorize it. And it might say, please log in to verify this suspicious activity or something. And you do that. Again, if you go to the wrong site, like hovering your mouse over this thing, and it doesn't show this over here to the right, again, I've got this split into two screens. So when I hovered my mouse over this, I authorized, this is what popped up just by hovering my mouse over it. This will always tell you the real hyperlink behind here that it's going to take you to. And you might see Coinbase.pl or some other website dot whatever. And it's not the real Coinbase.com. Now, I logged into my Coinbase when I was doing this tutorial, and I hadn't in a while. So it did pop up and say, hey, we just sent you an email to make sure you authorize this computer, which I have always used this computer. But again, like I said, it's been a while, so it's still going to send the email. So I knew, hey, wait a minute, I was just in Coinbase, and 30 seconds later, I got an email that says it's from Coinbase. Chances are it's going to be legit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the real one. Go ahead and click the link. I authorize this computer, and it's good to go. Now, just so you know, in Coinbase, when you click, I authorize this computer, it takes you to this special link. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything. It recognizes it because it sent you the link. This is legit, and everything just comes up now. You're in your account. Everybody's happy. You don't have to re-sign back in. You don't have to put in the two-factor code. You don't have to put in a password. It just works. However, if this is a scam site and you click that button, it's going to make you log in. Why? Because it wants your login info. And it may even the scam sites might even pop up and say, hey, we need your two-factor authentication code. And you unknowingly pull out your phone, type in the two-factor authentication, and the second you hit that button, it is running a script in the background that logs into the real Coinbase with all the credentials and information you just gave. It may try to clean you out. But again, Coinbase should then fire off an email saying, hey, this is from some other IP address out, in Pakistan. And another email comes in, authorize this device. You're going to see some suspicious activity. You just have to understand, if I'm logging into Coinbase and within a minute I get an email asking me, obviously it's a real one. But if I'm not doing anything and I get an email from Coinbase telling me, hey, chances are it's a freaking scam. It's a fake, website. They're trying to scam you. They want you to log in with your credentials. So what I would do is not click anything in the email. If you're like, in other words, you get one, but you're unsure, like you were just sitting there and one day one comes in your email, you're not sure, don't click the email. Just go right over to Coinbase.com and log in yourself. Pull up the website, type it in manually, Coinbase.com, enter, go to the website. Chances are you're trying to get scammed. So again, the little trick of hovering your mouse. Now, some people might use a different mail platform. Maybe you have webmail, so you're opening a browser and checking your mail. See, from your cell phone, you're going to be hard-pressed to do this. You need to be doing this from a computer because you can hover your mouse. With a cell phone, you're not hovering your mouse. There's no mouse to hover. But in some like webmail, if this was a webmail page, let me see if I can give you an example. All right. I can. Hang on. Watch this. This is the real website. If I hover my mouse over any link in here, see at the very bottom left of my screen, way down here where my mouse is, watch right here. when I hover my mouse over a link, it tells me that where it's taking me. Coinbase.com/external redirect, whatever. So if this was webmail and this was one of those emails and I wasn't sure and it said, you know, where this New York Times is, click here to authorize, right? I would hover my mouse again and look on my screen as I move that mouse to see where on my screen is it showing the actual link. And usually it's the bottom left. And like this one shows here, Coinbase. Right? You would be able to tell if that thing says, you know, Coinbase.ro, Russia. Ukraine, you know, whatever. You know, they're trying to scam you. Just delete the email and move on. Okay. Back where we were. So how do I buy once my money is in my Coinbase account? Click on the buy and sell tab at the top. You have two sub tabs here, buy and sell. In this case, I think it defaults to buy anyway. So just make sure it says buy and it's lit up like this. You're going to buy again. You can pick all three at this one, which by the way, didn't actually realize this, but I looked at this today. I didn't realize Litecoin was already breaking records at $85. I think it got to 83 last time, I think. Or was it 86? I don't remember. Anyways, these are all basically breaking records. But the nice thing about Coinbase, you do have the option for Litecoin too, as opposed to only Bitcoin and Ethereum on Gemini. But it's okay because when I show you the Exodus wallet, you're going to see how to flip some coins into another coin, which is an interesting feature. So you're going to, again, hit buy and sell. Make sure the buy tab here is clicked. You're going to buy Bitcoin in this case. And I'm not showing you these other two because it's identical. It's the same thing. We're just going to focus on Bitcoin. Let me go back. So I pick Bitcoin. I pick my bank account again. This is the bank account I want to use. Weekly bank limit is 15,000. The way this goes up, by the way, is the more buying and or selling, either way, buying and selling or just buying or whatever. More times you do that, this used to say 5,000 weekly limit, then it was 10,000 or whatever, then that's 15,000. I haven't used this in a long time, but just an FYI. So I just put in a number. I wanted, in this case, this case with Coinbase, you can actually enter either. You can enter the amount in US dollars you want to buy one for today. And when I say one, it'll automatically do the decimal for you. So notice how I put on the right 1.1 Bitcoin, that equals $9,792, $9,792.57. But if I came over here on the left and just put $100, then the Bitcoin over here on the right is automatically going to show you, 0.00, or whatever it is, whatever the appropriate fraction is. All right, I'm back. I just wanted to double check that you can put the dollar amount in or Bitcoin amount in. And on Coinbase, it will, in fact, put the appropriate values in either place. So what I did was I went in and put $100 USD on the left side over here. And it went to 0.011, whatever, 0011 something to give me $100 worth of Bitcoin. Now, in this case, I put in 1.1 Bitcoin on the right side over here, and it told me that's what the price is going to be if I want one, right? It's that simple. So I can hit buy Bitcoin, and then it's done. Now, keep in mind, I just gave a little note here. With both Gemini and Coinbase, you will have to wait several days until your cryptos will be available to move, trade, sell, etc. Just keep that in mind. Both of these exchanges, 4, 5, 6 day wait, whatever the hell it is, sometimes. So notice the fee though, $143 to buy 1.1 Bitcoin. $143. Whoa. But if you want to know an exchange you can get in on the same day and play, it's Coinbase versus waiting for Gemini. But that's why have both, get both. So I wanted to show you on the right side, see this whole area, Gemini and Coinbase. The fee at Gemini was only $23.97 versus Coinbase's fee of $143. My goodness. But again, Bitcoin up $465 in the last 24 hours. Still though, I prefer Gemini, way less fees. And it's out of New York. Coinbase is not in the US, it's in another country, although I do trust it. It would be my second most trustworthy exchange, right behind Gemini. So I just took a screenshot off to the right to show you. Left side, Coinbase, right side is Gemini. But that's it. Place the order, boom. Next thing. We're going to talk about after your 4 or 5 days, whatever is up, and it says, okay, these coins, or in this case, Bitcoin, is now in your wallet. You can do what you want with it. Your 4 or 5 days is up. And again, I happen to have 0.02 in my wallet. I guess, didn't even realize that. I'll take it. So you're going to click on accounts and send. This is for me to get it off the exchange. I want to put it in my possession where I control it. Because all these exchanges that you're on, you don't get the private key. They have the private keys. With your own wallet, you have the private key. And as long as you have that private key handy, which I'd recommend always when we get into this later, printing out your private key, getting a thumb drive, USB thumb drive, and storing like a little text file with your private key in it on there, save it to there. Matter of fact, maybe get a second thumb drive, do that too. Have it in 2 different locations, plus your printed out paper that you should laminate and keep somewhere safe. Now you've got 3 backups of this damn thing. As long as you have the private key, it doesn't matter what happens, your computer crashes, it gets stolen, whatever, you're good. Just don't store your private key information on your computer and leave it there, or leave it in an email. Get it off your email, get it off the web, get it off your PC. Do not store it there. Store it offline. Okay? Because you do risk getting hacked at some point. So anyways, accounts, we're sending it. Once you do that, the screen on the right pops up. And it's, although this says you can actually email somebody, we're not emailing nobody. Nope. Wallet address is the default anyways. That's where we're going to be. Enter a recipient for the Bitcoin. BTC means Bitcoin. That's the symbol. You know, like stocks have trading symbols, you know. BTC is Bitcoin. Over here, ETH, that's Ethereum. LTC, Litecoin. Okay. So I added this note. Enter the Bitcoin address you wish to send the amount that you've put below to. And again, where we're taking it from, it already knows. My Bitcoin wallet, I've got 0.0236, whatever. So again, I could say send $15 over there. Or I could say send 0.012 Bitcoin over there. It'll do the conversion automatically USD. Even though we have an amount here in USD, this has nothing to do with USD. You're not sending money. You're only going to send cryptos. But it's just telling you that if you send 0.023 in this example, you're sending, which it will auto-populate for you, $206 worth of Bitcoin over. Right? So then you hit continue. And this address should be, in this case, your Exodus wallet address. Or some other address, if you have another wallet that you store your Bitcoins on. In my case, I really like the Exodus wallet. There's going to be one that's coming in the future called the Pillar wallet, which I think is going to be phenomenal, but it's not out yet. So that's why I'm not even mentioning that, other than telling you in the future, it will be out. So in this case, you're going to enter your receiving address from your Exodus wallet, because you're receiving it at Exodus and you're sending it from here. It's kind of like sending an email, except the code, these lines here are like a big hash code. X, 0 times 2X FBACBQR, just that's what these addresses are, which you will see when you get into this. And that's it. So you hit continue. Accounts, receiving, right? So let's say they've been sitting on your Exodus wallet this whole time, or whatever wallet, and man, I got in at $8,000 Bitcoin, or whatever the hell it was, $8,600 Bitcoin, and it's a year from now. Oh my God, it's $25,000 Bitcoin. I'm ready to unload, dude. I don't care. I'm done. I'm ready to unload. Or maybe you decide, I'm just going to unload half. If I unload half, $25,000, let's say it's 25K or 26K, $13,000 if you unload half. What was your investment again? $8,600. Oh, so you're up significantly from $8,000 to $12,000 in a year. And I'm just making these numbers up, by the way, but we've already seen what I just described to you. We've already seen happen. FYI, just on the lower numbers coming up. Same percentage though. So you keep half of your profits. You take them out, you take them out, you're happy. Got my money back, my initial investment in profit, I'm loving life. But I also have an additional 13K sitting there that I'm going to leave in my wallet. And you could do that. So again, in your wallet, when you go to send back here to Coinbase, it's going to tell you what amount of Bitcoin do you want to send over there. And let's just say you had, again, one full Bitcoin, $8,600. You had one full Bitcoin this whole time. You bought it at $8,600. It's now worth $26,000. You send 0.5. I want to send half, right? 0.5 back, and it will tell you the value. Yep, okay, I'm happy. So this screen is what's coming up. You're in Coinbase saying, I want to receive my Bitcoin back from my other wallet. So you need to know what address to send it to from your other wallet, right? So this screen shows you, copy this address, which I've blacked out. Okay, I've blacked out my address here. And here's the QR code. Remember that thing I told you about with the two-factor authentication? That's what this little QR code looks like. I've blacked it out in the middle too, just for video purposes here. So the address though, see this little two squares? You can click that and it will copy it to your clipboard, your computer. It'll copy it behind the scenes. You're then going to go to your Exodus wallet and go to send. 0.5 of a Bitcoin in this case, because you want to sell half or send half back. And it's going to say what address. Paste it right into the field. Always look at the first 2 or 3 numbers of the address and look at the last 2 or 3 numbers. Go back to Coinbase and verify that that address has the same first 3 and the same last 3. And then go back to your Exodus wallet and double verify again. Same first 3 and same last 3, so that you know with absolute certainty, I'm sending this definitely back to my Coinbase account's address that I was given. And again, if it's your first time, you may want to send a fraction of a Bitcoin. How about like 0.01? Not 0.1, because you plan on sending 0.5. How about 0.01? Send off to Coinbase. Do it. Sit back, wait, 30 seconds or so. Log in, go back to your account. Is there anything there? Oh, yep, there it is. It's incoming. It says right there it's incoming. Okay, I'm good. At that point, you know it's coming in. Go ahead and send the rest, your half a Bitcoin. You're good. But that's what this is here, okay? So now we want to sell it because we're happy. Like I said, you're going to keep half in this case. Then again, you might not. Maybe you want to sell it all off. Say, hey, I turned 8,000 to 26. I'm done. I want all out. It doesn't matter. Whatever you decide, you decide. You're going to go back to buy/sell. This time, remember, it defaults on buy. You're going to click sell. Click the sell tab here. And again, we're using the Bitcoin wallet because now it should show 0.5 Bitcoin in here because you've sent it over. And you may have to wait more, by the way, than a minute. With Bitcoin, it's slow. The network is. And if it's super busy, like massive coins being moved around, I've seen half-hour wait times, even longer, before it actually shows up somewhere. So just an FYI. And it's usually Bitcoin that takes the longest. The other ones aren't too bad at all. Especially Litecoin is almost instantaneous. So again, you're on buy and sell. You click the sell tab over here. Yes, we're on the Bitcoin wallet. Because remember, you might have a Litecoin wallet, you might have the Ethereum wallet, and the Bitcoin wallet, depending on what you bought on Coinbase. So you can get to pick which one you want. In this case, you have no choice because you've only done Bitcoin. So there's your Bitcoin wallet. Again, there's my bank account. I want to deposit to that bank account. And once again, weekly bank limit, 15K. So that's why I really like Gemini, to be honest with you. It's a lot better limits and stuff, but it's telling me what do I want to take out. So we've already let me back up. We're going to sell this. So if I had 0.23, that was my full amount. I've chosen down here to sell a little less than half or so, right? Or a little more than half, 0.017. Which netted me $150, that's actually what I put in. I said I want to sell $150 worth. So I put in the $150 and then I just hit sell. Boom. It should fill the order immediately. You can, of course, put in the full Bitcoin here if you want. If you had a full Bitcoin or the half Bitcoin, put in the full. Either 1 for the full Bitcoin or 0.5 for half of a Bitcoin. It's going to fill in the USD amount for you. But again, you could actually go and do the opposite and say, well, I only want to sell $500 worth of whatever Bitcoin I have sitting here. And you could do that. And you could put 500 on the left. It'll automatically calculate what that translates to in Bitcoin, hit sell, and then the money will be transferred into your bank account. That's how that works. Now you've just pulled out cash, but keep in mind, again, now you have a taxable event. You're going to have to keep track of that. And I'm thinking anyways, Coinbase and these exchanges should be mailing you something like normally, or at least emailing you something. So then we're going to go to, because let me go back. See where it said here, deposit to, and it says my checking account. I could actually just leave this money on the exchange. So I chose right here that when I do this sell order, just go ahead and put my money in my bank account. But you could say, I don't want the money in my bank account because I want to maybe I want to buy some Ethereum, or I want to buy some Litecoin instead. Take $500 profit off of my Bitcoin. I want to buy some more Ethereum and Litecoin. So here where it says deposit to, you're going to click that and you'll see another option, and there'll be a USD wallet, which means it's storing it here on this exchange, your money, your cash, okay, from the sale. That's what this screen next is. So let's assume you got a bunch of cash sitting on this USD wallet because you've just been buying and selling and trading and stuff, and you haven't transferred anything out to the bank account yet. You just decided to keep it here in the USD wallet. And there's now, $5,000 in USD wallet. You're going to hit accounts, go down to all the way down to the USD wallet, wherever that may be. Mine's way at the bottom. And then click that, and we're going to withdraw, right? We're not putting money into it. We got $5K in there. I want to pull it out. So we're going to withdraw. Boom. This comes up again. I'm going to pick my checking account, put the amount in US dollars from the USD wallet I want out. Boom. Continue. Done. Have a nice day. So the next part I'm going to get into in just a second. I'm going to end this video because I'm doing this in multiple parts, and then I'm going to put the videos together. Is the Exodus wallet. This is a wallet I highly recommend you have on your computer. And it works with Windows, Linux, and Mac operating systems. Again, I'd like to tell you to go to the Pillar wallet, but it's not available yet. It's not even close yet to really being out there. But they do have almost an alpha from what I think I heard in that time. I'll be gladly using that wallet, but right now, Exodus is that dude, so to speak. In this section, I'm going to show you the Exodus wallet. You're going to go, as you can see at the very top here, www.exodus.io. Exodus.io. You will get to this page, and you will see the download button here. Click on that. You will see these options. Now, currently, as of this video, and the date as I'm continuing here is actually the very end of November the 30th. Current version is 1.39.1. I would urge you, maybe once a week, to go back to this website and then click on the download button and see what the latest release is. When you open your Exodus wallet, it is always going to tell you the version it is at the top. So if it's lower than this number, obviously it's time for you to update. And all you have to do is download it and then install it. You don't have to uninstall it first or anything like that. Now what I do is I close down my Exodus wallet, I shut it off if it's open, and then download that, run it, it installs and says, okay, then I reopen it, and sure enough, it's got the new version. So in my case, I'm a Windows guy, but you have the options of Windows, Mac, and Linux. Now here's the key with Windows, 64-bit. There are some older computers and laptops out there that may have Windows 10 or Windows 8 or 7 or whatever it is, but for whatever reason, the version is 32-bit. You're not going to be able to run this. If by chance you have a PC, laptop, or whatever, it needs to be 64 bits operating system. And the simple test would be download the program and try to install it. If it doesn't work, it'll pretty much tell you. It's that simple. I'm going to tell you, I might even advise you here, in order to play this stuff safe, especially when you get into this one. Like, in other words, you're not going to leave your stuff on the exchanges like Coinbase or Gemini or whatever. You want to have complete control. You're okay with the security side of keeping your stuff safe and making copies and backups of stuff. If you're going to do this with Exodus, download the thing. You're going to install it. And remember, you're going to be, if you do it like on a separate laptop, something that you don't use to browse the internet and check email and all that stuff, like, in other words, you have like a cheap laptop, got to be 64-bit Windows if you're going to do Windows. Install this on the laptop and only use that laptop for these purposes. So you're going to get this, you're going to install it, and then it opens up and it looks like this. Now these little red things, I've just basically, you know, I'm you know, hiding some stuff. I don't need you seeing, obviously, my stash and whatnot. So on the left side, it'll look like this. You can click on the portfolio button and it will tell you everything that you have. Percentages of each, like, you know, of your whole portfolio. Well, 20% of your Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin is 20% of your portfolio, and this one is 10% of your portfolio. It'll tell you that. If you click on the numbers under any of them, it'll change to, instead of percentages of what it is, actual dollar amounts, that what it's worth today. At the same time, if you click portfolio, you'll see a screen that just flat out tells you how much is in your whole portfolio. So here's where all your wallets that this particular Exodus wallet handles. It handles numerous wallets. So you would click on wallet and then you'd see this Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Civic, all these things. Now down here where it says add more, if you click that, you'll see a screen. Let's see if I may have, right here. It's under settings also, where you hit settings and then assets. You can check these boxes if you want to see them or not see them. In my case, I don't have any of these three, so I don't have them checked because I don't want them showing up on my screen. Like what I want here to show up is only what I have. And to be honest with you, I don't have Civic or Funfair at this moment in time, but I do have the rest of these, and no Bitcoin Cash at this moment. But anyways, if you have all of them added up or on there, you'll see a whole line. You have to scroll down to see them all. So I only want to see what I'm in, right? So I hide the rest of them. So this is the Exodus wallet. You're not going to be able to do a backup until you send something over here. So if you're on Coinbase or Gemini or whatever, and again, you don't want to leave it there because you'd rather have it in your possession where you control it completely, and you want to send it off those exchanges over to yourself here on this, you're going to click the receive button. You're going to hit the receive button here, and it's going to tell you what your address is. You're then going to go back to Coinbase in this example. Let's say I had my coins at Coinbase, and I'm clicked on up here Bitcoin. So I want to send myself whatever Bitcoin I have from Coinbase over to here to my wallet. I'm receiving, right? Because this is my new wallet. I'm receiving here. So I click that button, and it pops up with an address. A little hash key, little address. We're going to copy that address, go over to Coinbase, and in the section in Coinbase, which I showed earlier in this demonstration, this video way earlier, I showed you how to send stuff out and receive at Coinbase. But we're not receiving at Coinbase, we're sending from Coinbase, right? So you would go to the send feature of Coinbase and then send it to this address, which is the receiving address. What I always urge people when you do this your very first time, send a fraction of some, like whatever the amount is, maybe send like $20 worth of it, whatever that is. A fraction of a fraction, whatever like 20 bucks is, do a test. Send 20 bucks over here. And as soon as you do that, you should see something like this one says pending. Now, Bitcoin is usually a little slower than the other ones, just as a FYI. And if it's really busy network time out there with Bitcoin crazy activity, it can take a little while. I've had to wait 30 minutes before the thing showed up. But you'll hear a noise of cha-ching if you have your speakers on, and then you'll see something like this, pending. Same thing if I was on Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever. Now, Litecoin is extremely fast. But anyways, do a test run just to make sure you got the stuff. The second that this wallet gets something in it, then you're allowed to back it up. You can't back up the wallet until you actually have some cryptos over here. And it doesn't matter which cryptos. You can pick 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, doesn't matter. As long as there's something somewhere, that's all that matters. So now that you've done your test and it works, then you can go ahead and just redo it again, except instead of putting in a fraction, send the rest of it. And usually there's a button over there that says like send max or all or whatever in Coinbase. And then you can send it all over here to your receiving address. Again, this is just for Bitcoin. So if you were going to do that for Ethereum, I would be clicking on Ethereum right now over the wallet side. See the wallet and then Ethereum. I would click on Ethereum. It looks just like this, except it has the Ethereum logo up here. And I'm going to click the receive button on Ethereum. It's going to give me a different address. And that different address, I'll be going back to Coinbase, except in Coinbase, I'll be in my Ethereum wallet at that time, and then sending out of that Ethereum wallet to this number, to this receiving one over here. Same exact thing. Send a little fraction of one, like 1/10 of a Ethereum or something, just to make sure it goes through. You don't want to make a mistake and then lose it all, because you could lose it all if you send it to the wrong address. You know, it's gone. So you got to be real careful. And the same thing with Litecoin. Now, I will tell you, if you were to look at, for example, Omisa Go and EOS, these are what is known as ERC20 tokens. There's other ones too. ERC20 tokens use the Ethereum blockchain to do stuff. So what that means is if I were to click on Bitcoin and then hit receive, I'm going to have a Bitcoin address. It's going to be different than my Ethereum address or my Litecoin address or whatever. It's going to be different because it's a whole different coin, right? If I do Litecoin, same story. It's completely different address comes up. If I do Ethereum, same thing, a different address comes up. However, these other tokens, EOS, Omisa Go, etc., they ride on the Ethereum blockchain. So what that means is if I were to click on Omisa Go or EOS and then hit receive on either one of those, it's actually going to show me the same Ethereum address as if I just clicked on Ethereum and hit receive. Because it rides on the Ethereum blockchain, it's going to use my same Ethereum address. Just an FYI on those particular ones and some other ERC20 tokens that are out there. So moving on, you've now sent yourself something. And you don't have to send all of your coins over before you do the backup. You can if you want, but you could also send a tiny bit of them, then do the backup, and then send the rest of them if you want, okay? So you're going to click on the backup button over here. And in my case, this says reset email and password. That's because I've already done this. In your case, you're going to get an option to do a backup right off the bat. And you're going to get an email backup, and you're going to see a 12-word backup phrase. Okay, as you progress and you hit go ahead and back up, it'll bring you right to the screen. What happens is it's going to bring it, you'll see 12 keywords, just 12 words, you know, cow, rabbit, house, field, just whatever words. And they'll be separate, 12 words. Those 12 words are your backup file. Only you have them. So if this thing ever crashed, your computer crashed, it got stolen, whatever, no one's going to be able to take your stuff unless they know your login password. Because after you do this backup, there's going to be a login password required going forward. So that's another thing you need to make sure you do not forget. Because if you forget your password to this, you might be in trouble. Now, I'm not 100% sure, which I'm going to try to find out real quick and pause this video. Is the 12-word backup file good enough to restore your wallet without knowing the new password? Stand by 1 second. And I'm back, and I've got some good news. So when you look at this, it's got the email backup and the 12-word. I never recommend keeping your email, keeping this stuff in your email. Because if someone hacks your email somehow and they get this email backup, it's just a long link that's sent to your email. They click on it. If they have the Exodus wallet, which all they got to do is download it, and then click on that link, it'll go into restore mode. However, they must know your password. But if you got an easy password, it's only trial and error. They'll be able to crack it eventually. However, if you stick with the 12-word backup phrase and keep that off of your computer, never send that to yourself in an email. Never keep it stored on your computer. Again, you get a thumb drive, USB thumb drive, like this, and you save it to a text file. You save those 12 keywords to a text file, and then save that file to this device, this thumb drive. Take it out of your computer when you're done, put it back in your computer, open up the text file. Does it work? Is it all there? Right? Make sure, just for testing. Yep, you're good to go. Print the 12 keyword backup phrase also. Print that out to a printer and laminate that dang paper. Okay? Now you've got 2 backups. If you want to get real crazy, get another thumb drive. Maybe that one you'll take to work or something. I don't know. But you could get crazy and get an additional backup. Honestly, that should be fine. You have a thumb drive. You've got it freaking printed out on paper. You should be fine. So when the day comes to restore this thing, like your computer crashed or whatever, it was stolen, all you got to do is download Exodus to any computer or laptop and then go through the recovery mode, and it's going to ask you what's your 12-word file. And then you put it in. It won't need a password. So if you forget your password to Exodus, it's okay as long as you have the 12-word backup phrase. However, if you're doing the email backup and you click that link, it will ask you for your backup. Your password. So technically you might say, well, I got a real hard password to crack and I'm okay. I'll leave the email backup in my, email account on Gmail or whatever. That's your decision. You can do that. Me personally, I don't leave nothing online. I kept that email link, saved it to a file, printed it, and then put that file also on this USB drive. Not this one, but another one, USB drive. So now I have the email backup link, which is really long, on that file. I also have the 12-word backup file also in there. I'm good. And then I print them out on paper. I'm fine. So that, now you're really set, right? Now you've done your backup, you are set, but you will have to remember your password here. If you forget your password, you're going to have to restore it with the 12-word backup phrase, just as an FYI. So that's that. Again, the settings area, you can check these boxes, these circles, to if you want it to show up on your front screen or not. So now I'm going to move on to a website you're probably going to want to bookmark and keep, and that is coinmarketcap.com. You can go through this site and it tells you the top 100 coins basically based on their market cap size. And as you can see, Bitcoin, and this was a screenshot from several days ago, as I'm talking to you, which is how insane this is, $8,600 Bitcoin. It hit $11,500 yesterday, or was it that night, previous night, whatever. Here it is just a few days before that. $8,600. Insane, my friends. Same with Ethereum. It hit $500. Right here it shows $468. Dash Coin, $627. That one's $700 something as I'm speaking to you right now. Just as an FYI, it's freaking crazy, man. So this is just a site where you go to kind of look at the top 100 coins. A lot of these coins are ERC20 type of coins, but that doesn't mean you automatically can access them through the Exodus wallet. You can only access what the Exodus wallet has there for you to access, and there's just a few selections. So you might want to get into something else. And in order to do that, you're going to have to go to a different exchange. And I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. But this is one of the sites you want to hang on to, coinmarketcap.com. So here's the next part. Cryptocurrency trading for beginners. Okay. Always use two-factor authentication, 2FA authentication, two-factor authentication. That first website you see is EtherDelta. That is a exchange. Sometimes it can be slow, whatever, but it is usually one of the first exchanges, if not the first exchange, that gets these cryptos on it whenever they're released. So it's strictly an exchange for the most part that deals with Ethereum and Ethereum ERC20 token coins only. So this would be that example where maybe you wanted to get in one of these ERC20 tokens, but it's not available on Exodus. So you certainly can't get it on Coinbase because Coinbase only offers 3. Although I will tell you, I heard recently Coinbase is moving to allow a bunch of these types of tokens to be traded on their exchange. I haven't heard anything new yet, but not very long ago, like within a week ago, I heard that they're going to be doing that. That would be cool. But we're not there yet, and I'm not sure where we'll be by the time you happen to see this video. But again, it's November the 30th, 2017 at this point in time. So currency trading. Ether Delta is an exchange where you can trade, buy, sell these types of tokens, the Ethereum type, ERC20 type of tokens. And when you sell and buy them, essentially you're using Ethereum as the money, so to speak, to buy them. And then if you have the tokens and you sell those tokens on Ether Delta, you get Ethereum back. So everything is kind of priced in like Ethereum. And then after you're done, you can move those Ethereum, if you just sold off some stuff, back over to your Exodus wallet for safekeeping. There's another site, which is myetherwallet.com, which kind of allows you to get into some of these ICOs. We're going to cover that. Not yet. Bittrex. This is another one of these exchanges, but this is not the same kind of exchange as Coinbase or Gemini. Gemini only offers Bitcoin and Ethereum. Coinbase offers Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, but that's it. At least at this point in time, right? Bittrex sells all kinds of stuff. You can trade all kinds of stuff, including stuff that's not ERC20, but yes, ERC20 stuff too. But there might be a cryptocurrency that comes out, has its own blockchain, and you want to get a piece of that action, you want to get it. You're going to have to go to a place like Bittrex to do so. And you can't send money to Bittrex, so you essentially will be sending Bitcoin. Or if you don't have Bitcoin, you can send some other coin over there, sell the coin over there for Bitcoin or Ethereum. Just depends on what cryptocurrency you're looking at. When you go there, it'll show you the different types of pairs. So you can do, let's just call it the JSNP coin that just came out. There's a Bitcoin to JSNP coin. There might be an Ethereum to JSNP coin, but sometimes there's only one, and it's just Bitcoin to JSNP coin, which means you need to make sure you send Bitcoins over there. And if you don't have Bitcoins, you're going to have to send Ethereum or something else that you have over there, sell it on that exchange for Bitcoin. Now you've got some Bitcoin on that exchange, then you can go ahead and buy the stuff over there. Another one is Kraken. Similar, very similar to Bittrex. And I've got some notes here. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Never leave your cryptos on any exchange. That's how I feel. But the two most trustworthy exchanges at this point in time, in my opinion, especially for us Americans, is Coinbase and Gemini, both of them. That's my opinion. I still don't leave my stuff on those exchanges. I put them on the Pillar wallet, or excuse me, not the Pillar wallet, the Exodus wallet. That's where I put my stuff for the most part. But I do have some stuff on myetherwallet.com as well. So moving on. So in this case, there's not going to be a PowerPoint presentation piece on this one. I'm doing this one live. I'm going to go right into it as if I was doing it fresh, you know, if I was you. So one of the first places I'm going to go is myetherwallet.com. You will always see in green over here the lock sign, myetherwallet, all one word, and then space, LLC, space, and then US in these brackets. It'll always be HTTPS, www.myetherwallet.com. Again, the beginning of this video, if you remember the hacks and the fake ads and all that stuff, when I go to these sites, I always come up to the address bar. I don't do this, my Ether wallet, and just hit enter, because then Google's now telling me to search. Even though I spelled that wrong, Google's telling me to search. And what if there's an ad that pops up here and it's fake? And I click the ad because it's the first thing to click on, and it's a fake. It takes me to the wrong site. You've got to type it in the address bar. I use the Chrome browser for most all I do. You can use Mozilla Firefox if you want. It works too, but I've always just had great luck using Chrome, okay? So up here, the address bar, www.myetherwallet.com. Before you hit enter or anything, look for any mistakes, which I did. Double check it, myetherwallet.com. Yes, I'm happy. Enter. And this comes up. All you gotta do is click anywhere outside of here to get rid of this message. It's just kind of telling you how to be safe. Right here, don't get phished, you know, bookmark this right now. So you can bookmark it, right? Once you're here and you know you're at the right place, edit this bookmark, which I already have it, is why it says edit for me. For you, you could click it and hit add, add the bookmark. Boom. Now all I gotta do is click on here, go to bookmarks, and there it is. I can click on it, takes me right there. I know I'm gonna go to the right place every time now. Okay. So there's only really 2 places for the most part that you're ever gonna have to deal with on this site. And just as an FYI, this isn't like a exchange place that stores your stuff. This website is basically a direct connection to the Ethereum network. It's just a middleman mechanism in front of you. It's going to give you a private key, and this private key is your lifehood. Like, do not ever lose the private key, because if you do, you're done. So the same thing applies. And I'm going to go through it in a second. Get your little thumb drive ready and get your printer ready to print this out, because you're going to do this again. And ultimately, you might say, well, I'll just add all of that stuff. My Exodus wallet, this site, that site, and I'll just put them on one piece of paper and print that out so I don't have to print out 3 pieces of paper. That's fine too. Your choice. So the 2 areas you're always going to be messing with is send Ether and tokens or view wallet info. That's about it. Now, I want to explain a few things. Right off the bat, you're going to have to go do a new wallet. And we're going to do that right now. So as soon as you get in here, this is the only time you really need to click this. New wallet, enter a password. You don't actually need to remember this password. At least not currently. You don't need to. So I'm just going to put in, just for the hell of it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which I would never, ever recommend anyone using a stupid password like that. Remember the movie Spaceballs? What kind of idiot has a password 1, 2, 3, 4? Having them change my password as soon as we get back. All right, so here we go. Create a new wallet, create a password. And it might be something you want to remember, honestly, but I've never had to use it. So create new wallet. Your password must be at least 9 characters. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How about that? Create new wallet. And it says download key store, whatever. This is the file you could use if you're going to use your password. Go ahead and download this if you want and save that to that thumb drive. Okay. I don't, because I don't do it this way. However, I can't click on this button that says I understand, continue. I have no choice. So I'm going to click this thing. It downloads to your typical, documents. And it just downloads this weird UTC file, whatever. And I'll open it with Notepad. And this is it. This is what it gives you. There's a private key and there's other stuff in here. We don't really need to know this. But now that I've clicked on that and did the download, now it will let me click on this red button. That's what I wanted to get to. Click on that. This is the important part. Private key. Save your private key. Don't ever lose this. Okay? Right click, copy. Make sure the whole thing is highlighted. You do not want to miss even 1 character. Okay? So I'm going to now open Notepad. Or what you could actually do, it's up to you. In this example, I'll go ahead and open up Notepad. And I'll right click, paste. I'll double check. Starts with AFF, yep. And ends in 5970, yep. Great. So now I've got a private key. So I'm going to mark above this, private key, my Ether wallet. And then I already know what I'm going to do next, so I'm going to put address. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is get the address, which automatically I can get it now that I have the private key. As long as I have that, I'll be fine. But I'll go ahead and hit this button, print paper wallet. You could actually print this. See how the printer comes up? If you have a printer, you could print this out right now and do it, which I would recommend go ahead and doing that. You can also hit change printer, and if you happen to have one of these things that like this that says save as PDF, you could do that. Save it to where, and I pick a spot. In this case, I would pick my thumb drive, which isn't connected right now, but I'd scroll down and see my little F drive or whatever the hell it is, E drive or something, S, whatever, G drive, and then I'd save it there. So now you've got this, right? This is your address and it's your private key. It's exactly what I just showed you. So at this point, go ahead and close that out and close this out. Now that we have our private key, and I'm going to copy that. If I wanted to come here, actually, I would hit view wallet information. If I only want to view what I have here, like what kind of cryptos and stuff I'm sitting over here on, I'm not normally going to click on view my view wallet info and then hit the private key. All I need to know is the address. This is safe because I don't want you give your private key away. That's dangerous, but not on this side. It's not dangerous. But I'm going to show you how to grab that private key or the address real quick. So I'm going to put in my private key, and you got to click private key, unlock. Here's my address. And if I had some ETH here, Ethereum, it would show up right here. You could also click this button that says load tokens. And if I had other ERC20 tokens, they would then show up here. Which I don't, so they're not going to show up. But now that I've got the address, I want to go into my text file that I had and paste it right here. Double check. 0 times 4 ends in 500, ends in 500. We're good. So this, I would do file, save, or save as, whatever, and save it to the thumb drive. I would also go to file, print it out to a piece of paper, and save that paper, okay? That's what I would do. So in this case, I'm going to do file, save as, and this case, I'm going to go to my E drive, and you're going to see, maybe we'll go to games. Yeah, we'll go to E drive and games. MEW, I'll call it MEW for my Ether wallet, but whatever. So that's there now. I'm not going to close this yet because we have a use for this. Okay. So remember, if let me go back to this slide. Hang on. Go back to the slide. And all right. Give me 1 second. All right, so we go back to the slide to where we were on the Exodus wallet. All right, so you're not going to be able to send Bitcoin to my Ether wallet. You're not going to be able to send Litecoin to my Ether wallet. But you could send Misa Go, you could send EOS, and you could send Ethereum, right? Because those are all the Ethereum type tokens. And Ethereum is Ethereum. So in this case, if I wanted to send Ethereum over there, I would simply hit the send button right here. It would ask for the address and how many do I want to send. In that address, I would be putting this, let me switch screens. I would be putting this address because that's where I want to send it to. And like I always say, send a little fraction of one over just to make sure it works. It should be fine. Now you'll see when you go back to my Ether wallet, now just sitting here, it's not going to show up. It's still going to say 0 ETH, but let's just say I sent 0.1. What I would do, I'm going to copy the address. I don't need the private key now. Just click on any one of these links, like maybe send Ether and tokens, then go back to view wallet info. This time I'm not going to put private key in because I don't want to do that. I only want to look at my balance. So I'm going to hit view balance, and in here we paste the address, which again is this address up at the top here, not the private key. View balance, and it would say 0.1. Now, this could take between sometimes 10-15 seconds to sometimes a minute, sometimes 2 minutes before the whole network and stuff updates to where this thing can go look and make sure it showed up. So it might still show 0. Wait 20 seconds and try it again. Go back to send Ether and tokens. Now, you don't have to go send it again. I'm not saying that. You've already sent it once. You're fine. Go back here again. View balance. Paste it in there. View balance. Oh, there it is, 0.1. Right, that's how that would work. Now you've basically sent 0.1 ETH to this address. That's all we've done in this exercise. So one of the things you can do with my Ether wallet is there's these things called ICOs. And that's when a new company comes out and says, we're going to use the Ethereum blockchain. We're going to create an ERC20 token. And we're going to give you 500 of our tokens for one of your Ethereum. It's almost like buying shares in the company. And there might be a pre-sale. Well, hey, if you get in before the ICO starts and you get on the pre-sale, we give a 30% bonus. Oh, I get even more tokens. And it's one you like. You think there's a great solid plan. You want to get in on it. So what happens is, once you find that site that you're interested in, you sign up for the newsletter thing and it'll tell you, okay, the pre-sale's happening on Saturday, 9 a.m. Sign up here. And then you go there. And sometimes it'll be on a page where everybody can see it. Sometimes you got to sign in and it gives you a special address to send your Ethereum to. Sometimes it's the same address for everybody. It just depends. Depends on what their ICO is and how it's set up. But you go there. Once you get their address, now you've got their address, you can go right here to my Ether wallet. Now you're not going to want to do this from Exodus because that token isn't going to be showing up in Exodus, your Exodus wallet, but it will show up here on my Ether wallet. The only way that token will show up on Exodus is if Exodus does the update later on and adds that token to their list. If you accidentally sent it to Exodus anyways, you can, as a matter of fact, still retrieve it. Because in Exodus, if you hold down, I think it is Control Shift and D, the letter D, it brings up a menu, and then you can go to Assets, Ethereum, Export Private Key, and it will export your private key right out of Exodus. You can take that private key, go right over here to myetherwallet.com, punch in the private key under this section, send Ethan tokens, private key, punch in that address, and then when it comes up, you'll see, oh, there's my tokens. Now you can move the tokens out of there and send them over to your other MyEtherWallet address, which would be this one. You would do a send to this one. And now now you'll be able to see them. That's just a little side thing here, just a little bonus. So you've got the Ethereum address of the ICO you want. It starts in 20 minutes. You're ready to go. You're going to come on this page. And again, you're going to have Ethereum sitting over here at your MyEtherWallet address, this one. So you better have some Ethereum that you sent over here. Let's just say you sent 10. Okay, you got 10 Ethereum and you want to put 5 into this ICO. So you're going to come over here, private key, copy, because this is the one you already sent from your Exodus wallet. You already sent 10 over here to this address, right? So again, I click off, always click off something and then click back. Send tokens, private key, right click and paste, unlock, and now you're here. So let's just pretend that this is the address. I'm just going to make this up, whatever, 300. This is the ICO address they gave you. This is the one to get in on. And that means any ETH you send to them, you're going to get a certain number back of those new tokens when the ICO is over, when they release the tokens, which could be weeks to a month or month and a half later. And sometimes there's instructions and they'll tell you. But before we get to that, we're sending ETH. It's already set to ETH. This is the address, make up my pretend address that has the ICO. I'm going to send 5 Ethereum. Over here, it would show 10 because we sent ourselves 10 earlier, right? It would show 10. And then I'm going to put 5 here. Sometimes there's instructions at the ICO, their website, that says, hey, make sure you set your gas limit to such and such. And they may tell you 150,000 or 220,000, 25,000. Whatever they tell you, it's fine. Just go ahead and do it. And every great once in a while, this is rare, but every great once in a while, they might even have something for you to add here in this advanced data tab. And it will be some kind of string of text or whatever that they will give you. And they will specifically tell you, put the gas limit at this, put the data thing at this. So you're going to see what to do, okay? Most of the time, you don't have to do this last part. And I can't minimize it now, but that's okay. So at this point, I'm sending 5. They told me to put my gas limit at 225,000, 225,000. I could hit generate transaction, but there's another thing you need to look at first. Gas price, 20 Gwei. This is normally where I leave my stuff at, just moving stuff around or whatever, because I don't want to wait all day. See where it says not so fast, fast, and very fast, whatever? if there's an ICO coming up, and I know it's 9 a.m. Saturday, my time, and there's not going to be a lot of these tokens given out, and it's a freaking hot one, and I want to make sure that I'm getting in on this thing, and I want to try to get in there before everybody else, because I know it's going to sell out in like a minute. Like, it's just crazy. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to set this to 60. What that means is every time you send Ethereum from this wallet, to the exchange, back to this wallet, whenever you move stuff around from one place to another, or one wallet address to another, there is a network fee. And this is the same for pretty much all these cryptos, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all that stuff. Even if you move tokens like ERC20 tokens out of here, it still will use a tiny bit of the gas, so to speak, of Ethereum. So in this case, I'm setting this sucker to 60, which means give me the most priority possible. Which means if someone has theirs set at 50, I'm taking priority. Now, over here, you have networks, and it's only the ones at the top that say ETH. This is Ethereum. ETC is the Ethereum Classic coin. That's totally different. So what this is there's 4 different websites like this that you can use that are totally trustworthy. They're on here, and they will do the transaction for you. This was already set on mine to Giveth.io. But there's Infura, there's Etherscan, and then there's the default My Ether Wallet one. When you get here for your first time, I think your default will be this one. You might, maybe you're having problems one day with one of these things, it's not working. Or you sent something, it shows that you sent it, but it's not showing up here. Try a different one of these little nodes or whatever, these sites. Like mine's on Giveth, switch it to Infura. That doesn't work, try My Ether Wallet, Oh, there's my tokens, everything's fine. Then I'll leave it on that node. But generally speaking, it's on My Ether Wallet. It should be okay leaving it there. And that's that. So don't forget after you're done. So in other words, I'm 60, I'm ready to go. I'm counting down the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2. By the time I get down to about 3 seconds or so, I'm going to hit generate transaction. And then you're not going to be able to see this because I don't have any Ethereum here. But a little box comes up down here and kind of says like, go ahead, yes, confirm, whatever. You hit that. Then up here, another box comes up as a final, are you sure? Click that, yes, then it's done, it's gone. If you made a mistake, sorry about your luck. You sent it to the wrong address, it's pretty much gone. At that point, I'm going to take my gas and set it right back down to 20. Because I don't want to pay a higher network fee to move stuff around. I only wanted that to get in on this ICO. Now, at the same time, you're going to see plenty of ICOs coming, and they're not going to sell out in a minute. They'll be going for hours, days. So you may not waste the 60 gwei. Having said that, it's still not a lot of money. It's a few dollars. You might be sending thousands over there, and it costs you a few bucks, like $2 or $3. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing. So anyways, that's back down to 20. What happens is the ICO is done. Sometimes when you come back here to check your stuff, again, at this point, you're done. Copy that. Go over to view wallet information. Now, you don't have to do this right away because there's no way you're going to see those tokens right away. But after the ICO is over and they say, okay, we're distributing our tokens this week. Okay, everybody, you should have got your tokens. You should be able to come in here and see right here where it says 0 ETH. It should show that token under that. And you've got, 5,200 of them or whatever it was. If you don't see it, a lot of times you have to go to add custom token. However, there's a way to figure out what you have to add, because if you click add custom token, this allows it to show up on this PC. It needs the contract address, it needs the symbol, and the decimals. You may not have any idea what it is. So these two things where it says transaction history, if you click on tokens, it will look up your address and tell you any tokens, and they will be listed here. They'll actually show up. All you have to do is click on one of them, the one in particular. Like I said, you had 5,200. Even though they don't show up here yet, but they do show up here, that means you definitely got them, you're good. But you want them to show up here so you can do stuff with them. So when it shows up here, you're going to click on it. There'll be a link, you click right on it, and then another window comes up and tells you the token contract address, the decimals, the symbol, it's all there right in front of your face. So all you got to do is copy that information right over here where you hit the add custom token, which goes down here, and it'll give you an address, it'll give you a symbol and a decimal, then you hit save. As soon as you hit save, this page kind of does a little refresh, and then you'll see it down here. If you see something like not recognized or not something, like it doesn't show up, but you know it's there because you're here and it shows it right here that it's definitely here, then you copied the wrong address. And even though it said the contract address, there might be an address underneath that. Try that address. And then do the same symbol and same decimal and see if that works. I've had to do that before. And then it goes, boop, oh, there it is. So then at that point, what happens is you've now got 5 ETH remaining. Remember, we did 5 in this example because we had 10. So you have 5 ETH remaining, and under there, you've got 5,200 of the JSNP tokens. And you've been sitting on them for a little while. You're ready to sell them. They're up 5 times their value. How the hell do I sell them? I want to cash out and get a bunch more ETH back. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to start a new video. Hang on, I'm going to start right after this. All right, moving along. So you've got your 5,200 JSNP ERC20 tokens, and it is time to sell off. You are ready. So there's 2 ways to do this. Again, a lot of people will use EtherDelta, which is this website, etherdelta.com. But there are other exchanges, like I told you. There's Bittrex and Kraken and some other ones. We're not going into those videos or into that here. I'm going to show you EtherDelta, because a lot of times an ICO comes out and the token comes out and they trade. Sometimes they jump way up and then they come down a little bit, and then maybe later on they go way up again. But some people like to just go grab it quickly, sell off, and get out. Get in and out as fast as possible. Usually they're going to be on EtherDelta in order to make that happen, because a lot of the bigger exchanges don't get those new tokens to be traded on their exchanges right off the bat. Usually they're a month later or more. EtherDelta is usually quickly on it. So that's why I'm going to show you this example. So now that you're here, first thing you're going to do is hit select account. Now remember, we have our My Ether Wallet account information here. All this is a private key and an address. It doesn't matter where I use it. I could actually use this here right now on EtherDelta. Or I could hit select account and do a new account. And then this pops up. You just created an Ethereum account. And guess what it gave me? A private key and an address. So I would copy these if I wanted to. And I still got that same text file open. I don't need to create another text file. I'll just put them right down here. And I'll call this the address because I know that's what it is. And I know this is EtherDelta. And then I'll do file, save as, save it to my thumb drive. And now I've got it, right? So there's 2 ways to do this. Let me make it look like the other one. That way it's the same. File, save. I just created this new account at EtherDelta. So I can either go back to my Ether wallet, which would be this account, and tell it I want to send those 5,200 JSNP tokens over to this address. And then I'll have to wait a little bit, a minute, 30 seconds, whatever, for them to show up over here. If you trust this website, and by the way, I've never heard anyone complain that they got hacked or stolen, just as an FYI. If you don't even want to do this part where you create the new account, you could actually use your private key, which will be attached to this address, directly on EtherDelta. You don't even have to do what I just showed you, creating a new account. But again, it requires you to trust that when you hit the import button over here, that EtherDelta is not saving it somehow. I'm pretty certain if they were scamming people, they would have already done it by now. So I'll be honest, I personally create the second address, second private key, and send it back and forth just to be super, super, super safe. But I know a lot of people who actually don't bother with this, and they just use the same info from their MyEther wallet over here, and they're happy, and they've never had a problem. So if you did want to do that, you would actually click this. You could hit forget account, or not even forget it. You can just hit import account. Okay. And in this case, I would put in the address. And this is the MyEther wallet one, right? So address, private key, bang. As soon as I do that, it's imported. Over here where these question marks are, ETH right here in the middle where these question marks are would say 5 ETH. Remember, we had 5 ETH left over. Up here, which in this example, we're looking at a token called Populus or PPT. This would say basically JSNP, you know, the JSNP token instead of that. And if you couldn't find it, you scroll down here and look for it. You will see it. Whatever token you have that you own, you would scroll down to it, and then once you found it, click the symbol, boom, there it is. This page would load up and it would look like this, except it wouldn't say PPT, it would say whatever your token is. And right in the middle, it would say 5,200. So what you do next is, it's already on the deposit tab, right? You have withdraw, transfer, and deposit. So you're just to make sure, click deposit, it's already there. What that means is I'm now going to take what's in these two columns and I want to deposit it into the exchange. Except, remember, you got 5 Ethereum here, and you got 5,200 of those tokens that you want to sell. You're going to put 5,200 in here and hit deposit. That's it. You're going to have to wait a little bit. Now, before we get to that point, what I might suggest is, see here now that this little thing here, click here and hit the gas price. Remember that thing I swiped over to 60? So click that. This defaults at 4. I don't think I have time for 4. Again, I'm a 20 kind of a guy. Set gas price. And usually once you've been here, it remembers you through a cookie or whatever. So you can check just to make sure. Gas price, what's it at? Oh, it's at 20. Cancel. Okay, I'm good. And this green, this has to be green. If this isn't green, then your private key's not in here. You're not going to be able to do anything. You'd have to go here, import, and then import the thing. So anyways, now that we're here, you got your 5,200 here, deposit, you hit deposit. You'll see down here trades and orders and stuff. You'll see one that's pending. And then when it's done, this page will refresh. It refreshes maybe every minute, every 30 seconds, something. And then you'll see over here is now 0. And off to the right, where it's over here, these question marks will say 5,200. So now you can start selling. Now here's the key. Whenever you're messing with these sites, like especially this one, when you place an order and do stuff, it's making an order and then trading it on the blockchain. So again, there's always a gas price, which means you can't come over here with 0 ETH. If you come over here with 0 Ethereum, you're not gonna be able to do anything. So I'll be honest, just put like 0.2 or 0.1. At the same time, it matters what price ETH is. ETH is $400, $500. So maybe not even half an ETH, more like 0.02 or something, 0.03, and see how that goes. Because as you start to do trades and stuff, it takes a little teensy weensy tiny little fee off there. So you have to have Ethereum in this column here. Now you're not going to hit the deposit button over here to Ethereum unless you were buying. If you wanted to buy from this exchange, then you would, and we'll go over that in a minute. Now we're going to sell though. So again, we had 5,200 here. We hit the deposit, 5,200, deposit it, boom. A minute or two later, it finally shows up. Here it is. It says 5,200. Here are the orders. If you hover your mouse, it says click here to buy. Now, if you were buying, the cheapest one is the lowest one. So this one is a lot more expensive. Not necessarily a lot, but it's more expensive than this one. Just as this one's more expensive. You can see what they're charging. 0.227. This one's 0.228. And it's priced in Ethereum. So for 182 at 0.0227 ETH, will cost you 4.1 Ethereum if someone wanted to buy this right now, 182 of these. Your case, you're selling. So the topmost green one is the best deal. As you will see, that's 0.023. The next one, 0.222, 222, then 221, right? So basically, the lowermost red one, if you're buying, is the best deal. The topmost green one right here is the best deal if you're selling. So what these are people saying, I'm willing to pay, in other words, I want 5 Populous tokens, and I'm willing to pay 0.115 ETH for that. This next order is saying, I'd like to buy 208. They're saying, I'd like to buy 208, which would amount to 4.618 ETH. Remember, I got 5,200. So obviously I want the most bang for my buck. So I'm going to click on this, even though it's a tiny amount. I'll go ahead and clean. I'll clean this one out. 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 I'll clean this one. I'll keep going until I've met, my 5,200 if I want to unload all of them. So I would click on this, and here's where it tells you this is what's happening. And normally I would just hit sell. I'm not going to change anything and just hit sell. But I want to show you something. Let's just say that this order was missing, or better yet, not even. I've only got enough money, or ETH in this case. I can only afford 2 of these PPT tokens, Populous. I can only afford 2, but I don't want to buy these 2 or this one. It's more money. I want to buy this, but he's selling 5. So what do? I only have enough money for 2. Click on this. Erase this 5.000 and put 2. And you could even put .000. It doesn't matter. The zeros don't matter. That's going to make this fill partially. Hit sell. Boom. And I know I said buy. Excuse me when I said buy. Selling. Let's say I only had 2 to sell. I said buy. Let's say I only had 2 to sell. I would click on that and put in here instead of 5. Can sell 2 because that's all I got left. I only got 2 left. I hit sell. When this thing refreshes, at some point it should show 3 now available, and I got my 2 sold. Done. At that point, I've sold off all my stuff, right? Assuming I had 5,200 and I went all the way down and kept going down, down, down. Now again, you got to look at the price because you don't want to see a huge jump from like 0.022 down to like, way down here, 0.20. I mean, you're cutting shooting yourself in the foot. You want to get the most bang for your buck. But if you see plenty of orders, even kind of close, it's fine. So now what would happen, because again, everything down here shows trades, orders, pending, whatever. Once it's all cleared up, you're going to see 0 up here of your tokens, 0 over here of your tokens. But down here, you're still going to have a fraction of your ETH. Remember we said we were going to put 0.03? That might change a little bit because there's some gas fees involved. That's okay. But over here on the right side of ETH, you just sold 5,200 tokens. You've got, in this case, you'd have a lot of ETH. This is 700 ETH, 1,000 ETH, 22 tokens, whatever. Let's say you just got 60 tokens, or excuse me, 60 Ethereum. You're going to see 60 ETH right here. So what you do is hit up the withdraw tab, and then you say, how much ETH do I want to pull out? I want to pull out all of it. And you still better have some ETH right here, 0.0 whatever. You better have some here. So you've got 60 over here. You're going to hit 60 right here, and then hit the withdraw button. Boom. It should work. If you get an error about gas or something, it's telling you you don't have enough in your wallet to cover the gas fee, which is why I'm telling you leave about 0.03 or 4 in there. Honestly, I'd probably feel comfortable at 0.05. I'd feel a lot safer, better about that. At the same time, if you don't, and you're screwed now because you've got 60 ETH over here, and you've got 0.00 something, and it's not enough to even cover the gas, you can go to your Exodus wallet or somewhere and send, a fraction of amount over to this address, and then it will show up there in the middle, and you'll be okay. And then you can do it. So anyways, 60's over here. I put in 60 ETH. I want to withdraw. I hit the withdraw button. Down here, orders, whatever, pending thing. Wait a little bit. It clears. Next thing you know, now it says 60 here, although it should say 60 point something, 0 something, because you should have a little bit of ETH left over from earlier. And then it's sitting here. At that point, now if you remember when we did the import thing? If you imported this one, you don't have to do anything else at this point. You're done. You're good. You can go right back over to my Ether wallet, punch in this address, over here at the view wallet, and you're going to see your tokens right there. Again, if you don't see the tokens, because you just bought them off the exchange, because in this case, remember, we sold. In this case, you're not going to come over here and see anything. But if you were to buy new tokens, right? If you're going to buy tokens and you just did what I showed you, but you bought them instead of sold them, but you don't see them here, do what I showed you before. Click on the tokens thing, brings up this page, and then enter the information. Go down to the custom token, add a custom token, enter the information here, then you should see them. But that's if you just bought them, okay? Now the other issue is that we just, in this example, sold. But I also said that's only if you imported your MyEtherWallet address. If you didn't do the import thing, and you created the, create a new account, and that's the one you're using, which would be this one, okay? Then in this case, since this one is loaded here, pretend, okay? We're loaded up with this address right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Just so I don't confuse you. Import the account. And this one. Import. Okay, boom. So this is the account, right? Just pretend that we just did everything with this account. This is a separate account, right? This is separate EtherDelta and then separate MyEtherWallet. But we're on this one on EtherDelta right now. We just moved those 60 back into the middle slot here. But that means they're over here on this one. Excuse me, on this one. So what you would do is I want to send them back to MyEtherWallet, right? So in that case, copy the MyEtherWallet address over here. We're going to transfer, hit the transfer button. Transfer what? I want to transfer 60 ETH, but remember, you better leave a teensy bit so that that little gas fee gets covered. So if it's 60.00, just leave the 0, just make it a cool 60 even. And then the address, I'm going to paste it right in there. Ends in 500, C500, I remember that's the right one. And then I'm going to hit transfer. Boop. And then within a minute or two, it'll show up. So in a minute or two, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click off, click back on view wallet. We're not doing private key. We just want to view only. Paste it. And this is the MyEtherWallet one. Boom. There's my 60 ETH. Fantastic. Okay. So the other side of this is you want to go to MyEtherWallet, EtherDelta, and buy. So the same thing I just showed you kind of applies. If you have Ethereum here on MyEtherWallet, you can send it right over here using the method I just shown you. If you create a new account, here's your address, you can send it to the new account. If you don't want to do that, you just want to do the import thing, here's your import information. So you import it here. And for this example, let's do it that way. Let's say we're going to import our MyEtherWallet account, which it's actually remembered it. So now that I've already done it, see, and the only thing that I'll be honest, that kind of bothers me about this. What if your computer got stolen? Someone pulled up MyEther or EtherDelta, and it's got this thing cached here. There's no password or anything. Your stuff's here. So one good piece of advice I'll give you: click on your accounts, and whenever you're done here, forget account. Yep. Forget account. Click on that one. Forget it. Yep. Click on the next one. Oops. Forget it. Done. All right. So for this example, we got 60 ETH over here on this address. We're just going to import it, right? Copy the private key. This is our MyEtherWallet one. And we're going to import it. And remember, we're going to forget it after this. So let's not forget to do that. Import account. There's that. Got to do the address too. It wants both. And import. Boom, there it is. All of a sudden, right here in the middle, boom, there's my 60 ETH ready to go. Now we want to buy this time. We want to buy some tokens. And in this example, we'll just say the Populus tokens. Forget the JSNIP tokens. We're buying some Populus, some PPT. Again, once you go to the site, you can scroll down and search for stuff and find the one, whatever you click on. A lot of times, the most action, the ones that are having a lot of action, volume, are going to be up here. Not that that really matters, but just so you know. Over here on the right, these are trades that have already happened. Just gives you an update as to some previous trades and the prices. That's all. So we're here. We got 60 in the middle. and I'm going to hit not transfer. We're going to hit deposit because I want to deposit that 60 ETH into this exchange so I can play with it. So I go to deposit. How much ETH? Remember, we want to leave a tiny bit. Always leave a tiny bit. So in this case, I'm not transferring all 60. I'm doing 59.5. I'm going to leave a half of an ETH behind in this case. A whole half of one, right? A whole half. What the? And then I hit deposit. Boom. Another minute or so shows up. I'm ready to go. Again, double check gas before you even do that. Check the gas price. 20. Okay, it's happy. Fine. Just to make sure. Now it's ready. You see 59.5 ETH sitting here. Now you're ready. But you still got to have some here. Remember, you're going to do some trading. So that's why we left half of an ETH in this case. You don't have to leave that much. That's a lot. But again, 0.05, you should be fine. I did 0.5, so that's a lot more in this example. So now it's there. It's on the right side. Now you can sit here and start clicking on orders. So click here to buy. Someone's selling 4,400 Populous for 98 ETH. Well, I've only got 60. Actually, 59.5. Remember what I showed you. I'm going to click this order. It's the best paying one, right? And again, do the math. And here's how you do the math. This is the price of ETH. Right click and copy. Open up calculator. Whoops. Open up calculator. Paste it, which I hit Control V on the keyboard. Paste it. And then I look at the current price of Ethereum. Let's say it's 460 bucks. So I do times $460. Is telling me that these things are going for $10.25 approximately. At the same time, you could have went over to the other site, CoinMarketCap, like I showed you. Search for PPT up here. There it is. Click on it. And it's saying it's $9.98 over here. You can also scroll down to markets. Click on that and it will tell you every exchange that this particular thing is on. In this case, it's EtherDelta. And most of the volume's happening there. The last price was $9.79. So what that means is I need to double check the price of Ethereum, which is $446. So there's that again, times 446. $9.94. But it's the best deal, right? Because it was the lowest one. Remember, the lowest red one's the best deal for me. So I only have 59.5, remember? So what I do, you can't change this number. So what you have to do is start playing with this one and say, how about 3,500? Where does that put me? Not enough. 3,200, 71. How about 3,000? Nope. 2,800. Nope. 2,600. We're getting close. 2,650. 59.095. I'm happy with that. That's fine. I hit the buy button. And once you hit the buy button, if you get a message that says, sorry, this order's already been taken or filled, that means someone already grabbed it. Even though it still shows it over there, it's someone's going for it. That means you have to now go for the next one or the next one above that. But once you hit buy, if it's successful and whatnot, you just wait. Okay, there it shows up. Let's pretend it worked. Now, again, over here in the top right, first of all, your ETH is gone. The only thing you got left is 0.5 or whatever the heck's left. Up here, though, you now have, 28, whatever the hell it was, 2,600 tokens, Populous tokens sitting over here. They just showed up. You're happy. Now, once again, we imported this one. That's the one we're working on. This was the MyEtherWallet one. However, the tokens are over here on the right side. That means they're still inside the exchange. You got to get them off the exchange. So you're going to hit withdraw. And then again, 2,600, I think we said, or 2,650, whatever it was. There's 2,650, and I hit the withdraw button. Within a minute or two or so, it should now go from here and show up over here in the middle. Now you're good to go. At this point, you can go back to MyEtherWallet, send Ether and tokens, view EtherWallet info again, view wallet info, hit the view balance only, just put in the address, not the private key, and boom, oh, there's my new tokens. Again, if they don't show up, you're going to have to click on that. And if you see them here, it's official, they're here. Click on them, see what the token contract is, the symbol, and the decimal points. That way you can go down here, click on Add Custom Token. I know it's PPT, and usually there are 18 decimals, but not always. And then whatever the actual contract address was, you paste it in here, hit save, and then boom, it refreshes. Now all of a sudden you see your balance here. Once you see your balance here, you can go to send Ether tokens. Like, let's just say you want to send these somewhere. What that means, again, we're going to click on send Ether tokens, private key, paste the private key, unlock. You would see that 0.5 ETH we left would be here. You would also see Populous tokens. You would also see the JSNP fake tokens, whatever. And right here, this little down arrow, it only shows ETH because that's the only thing available right now. Had I actually had some of those tokens here right now, when I click this down arrow, it would actually let me pick them. So if I wanted to send my friend or somebody or move him off this thing to somewhere else, I could put in their ETH address, right? And then amount, I want to send them 1,000 of my new Populous tokens. So I'll put 1,000. Click this down arrow, pick Populous. You would see Populous right here. Bang, click that. Gas limit, leave it alone. Don't have to mess with nothing. This advanced stuff, you're never going to have to mess with that in a case like this. Generate transaction. Again, your gas should be around 20 or so. Generate transaction. Hit the confirmation down here. Another one pops up here. Yes, I'm sure. Send it. And then your tokens went off. Keep in mind, if you ever send tokens, these ERC20 tokens, to an exchange like, honestly, any of the exchanges, Coinbase, Gemini, some of these other ones, they're gone. Because they control the private key and you don't, and they're not going to show up. They only deal with Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc. However, you go to a place like maybe Kraken or Bittrex or whatever, there'll be a section in those exchanges that shows you, hey, give me my Populous address. Click the button. Here's your Populous address. Okay, now I can send Populous over to Bittrex, to the address that's assigned to my account, and then it'll show up there, and then I can trade over there. So that's pretty much all there is to my Ether wallet, how to get into an ICO. If you know that thing, you got your tokens, you want to sell, go to Ether Delta and sell over there. What I think I might do next is actually open up Bittrex and show you that kind of an exchange. And then there's Kraken, there's other ones, and they all look a little different, but they generally function the same way. But some of them are quite a bit different, and I think we'll cover that one next. So now we're going to go to Bittrex, and that's 2 T's, bittrex.com. And then I click the login button. In your case, you're going to have to sign up. So once you sign up and do that whole thing, your account will be ready. Once again, once you get in here, set up your 2-factor authenticator using a Google Authenticator app on your phone. In my case, I'm already set up. That's why it's asking me. I already logged in with my name and password. Now it's asking me for my code. And I'm going to put that in. And I'm going to log in. All right, so in this case, I'm going to walk you through where to go. So the first thing you're going to do is click on Wallets. And it brings you to this page right here. And anything, if you have any kind of amount of anything in here, it'll show up right at the top. So you can see I've got a tiny fraction of Bitcoin Gold, an even smaller amount of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash way under there, even smaller. And that's it. Now, what you would do on an exchange like this is you're going to want to figure out, first of all, why am I here? What do I want to buy? And what you can do is go to the markets here. Actually, go back to the home page on the far left. Just click this icon. And it kind of tells you everything that's going on. This is Bitcoin markets, all right here. And look, there's pages worth. And then we have Ethereum markets, pages worth. All right, don't worry about the rest of this. So if I wanted to see, is there a Populous to Bitcoin market, I would type in PPT, which is Populous's symbol, I see nothing under Bitcoin markets. Ethereum markets, I'm going to put PPT, and I don't see anything there. So what that tells me, again, if you go back to crypto, or the coin market cap, and you type in PPT, Populous, it will always tell you, if you scroll down and hit markets, which exchanges. There is no Bittrex. There's Mercatox and there's EtherDelta. So that means this particular token, Populous, I can't do that on Bittrex. So let's go back and maybe find something else in which there might be. Maybe EOS. Is EOS on there? Which, again, you can get EOS right on your Exodus wallet by doing a swap. Markets. Bitfinex. I'm not seeing Bittrex. Let's just do a search. There's no Bittrex. So let's just pick one. How about that? Let's erase that. There's Dash. There's OMG. There's OMG coin. So that's one. OMG. It does show up. How about OMG for Bitcoin? Is there a market there? There is, in fact. Which tells me if I sent myself Ethereum over here to Bittrex, or I sent myself Bitcoin over here, I could buy some OMISA Go tokens with either, because they're in both markets. That's what this tells me. Sometimes you'll find one and there's only one market. Maybe it's only Bitcoin, or maybe it's only Ethereum. That lets you know that's what you need to send over here to play the game. So in this case, I'm going to use Bitcoin to OMG. So I'm going to actually click this. Now, before I do that, remember the wallet thing. Here's my Bitcoin, right? Not Bitcoin Gold, not Bitcoin Cash, it's Bitcoin. I'm going to hit the plus sign. And I notice on this website, sometimes you got to click it twice. Plus means I'm sending Bitcoin over here. Minus means I'm sending Bitcoin out of here to somewhere else like my wallet. Well, I need to send Bitcoin to myself. So I'll click that. If it doesn't show up, I'll click it again. And then it says, here's your Bitcoin address. It's assigned to you. So that Bitcoin address is where you're going to go. In this case, your Exodus wallet. You got some Bitcoin in your Exodus wallet. Or you might have some Bitcoin sitting over in Coinbase. You can go to your Coinbase account and hit send out and put in this address. It'll send it right over here. Or if it's already in your Exodus wallet, go to your Exodus wallet and send it over here to this address. At that point, let's say you have one full Bitcoin to play with. That's what you sent. We'll go back here. Remember, we wanted OMG coin. So, and we're in the Bitcoin market. Got to be sure. It's all right. So go to click on that. Now it brings you to this page. This is all the most recent information. $8.15 is what this thing's going for. So if I want to buy some OMISA Go, right here, it would say one full Bitcoin, 1.00, whatever. It would say one Bitcoin. And what I could do is hit max. Boom. Price. Whatever the last price was it sold for. Hit that button. And then hit buy. Now, granted, I only have 0.000, I have almost nothing in here. So I could hit max, meaning use my entire Bitcoin to buy me the maximum amount of OMG possible at which price, click on the price, the bid price, the ask price, or whatever the last price was. And it tells you right here, bid is here, ask is over here, right? Above here. And you can look at what they're asking. The bottom line is, most of the time, they're so freaking close. Let me look. They're asking $8.15. The bid is $8.12. Someone's willing to pay $8.12. So, honestly, if you want to buy, I'd probably set it on the ask price, or in this case, the last price. It's also $8.15. So the last is $8.15. The ask is $8.15. You could almost pick either one. Go with the last, go with the ask, whatever. If you want to make certain, so I'll go with last. If you want to make absolute certain your order is going to fill and not have to wait around, you may want to bump this up a tiny bit. But you might want to bring your calculator out and make sure you don't bump up the wrong number and give someone a really good deal for those OMGs. Like, I wouldn't go 81. Actually, I would go 81 because these are 999. I mean, it's right there, right? So I'm going 81, 000, whatever. That's fine. but I don't think I'd go 8.2. That's a big jump, right? You want to keep it around where everybody's at. And if you look on the right, it's moving. It's now 81,079, right? So anyways, you just got to come in here, honestly hit last. If you're doing max, do max. Otherwise, you can say, don't do max. You know, put an actual number of OMG coins you want to buy. I only want to buy 100. Well, it's only going to use a fraction of your Bitcoin. You know, that kind of a thing. And then you hit buy OMISA Go. And then these little order things pop up on the screen to let you know, okay, your order's out. And then if it starts filling, you'll see green, filled. And again, there could be partial orders where someone was selling 2, someone was selling 5, someone was selling 60, but you want to buy 200. So it fills. You know, you'll see different orders filling. And then it might stop and you're like, well, hey, it didn't fill all the way. I still got, 150 to go. What happened? That means the price that you're willing to pay, the sellers aren't willing to sell at this exact moment in time at that price. My advice, just wait around a little while. It should fill. Otherwise, you're going to have to cancel the order, which there'll be a cancel button. You'll be able to see it. Cancel it, and then redo it again, except hit the last price again, and notice it's probably higher than it was a second ago, which again should be okay. Now you just bought some. Let's say all your orders are filled. You're happy. Everything's good to go. You're going to go back to wallets. And again, let's say you use the whole Bitcoin, so you're not moving any Bitcoin out of here. You used it all. But now down here, you're going to see OMG coin. It's going to be here. It's going to be ready to go. And you're going to see however many you got, 600 of them, or whatever the hell it was. In this case, since it's OMG coin, by the way, and OMG coin is in fact on the Exodus wallet, you could hit the minus button here and ship it off to the receiving address of your Exodus wallet, the OMG coin address, and then it would show up. So if you didn't, and maybe you had some other wallet or the whatever, some other application, or maybe you wanted to send it to my Ether wallet, maybe you wanted to send it there, you got to remember, anything you buy on here, you have to know what kind of token it is. So if you bought Neo coin and try to send it to my Ether wallet, it's not going to work. Neo coin is not an ERC20 token. And a lot of times the exchanges will catch you and say, can't do that. But boy, I sure would hate for it not to catch it and you accidentally send it to God knows where. So you have to kind of know what you're moving around and where it's moving to. But anyways, you hit the minus key button. Sometimes you have to click it twice, and then it asks for an address. Where do you want to send it? Oh, I want to send it to my Ether wallet, or maybe I want to send it to my Exodus wallet. You sure as hell don't want to send it to Coinbase or Gemini, because it'll never you'll never see it. It's never going to happen. But that's a very simple way of how to use this exchange. Notice they don't really, do money. It's simply send your Bitcoin over, send your Litecoin over, and play one of these games, buy, sell, whatever. The same could be said if I had OMG, I could have sent it right over here. And again, their wallets, I would just shorten this down to OMG, because there's a million wallets, right? Always filter it by putting OMG up here. Guess what we have? A plus and minus. So in this case, I would hit the plus because I'm sending elsewhere, like my Exodus wallet, over here, OMG tokens. So I would hit the plus here. It would give me an address. I would plug that address into my Exodus wallet under the sending out of the Exodus wallet feature under OMISA Go. Send out how many, this address, done. As I always say, maybe send 1 or 2. Make sure it works. And once you send them over here, see where it says pending deposits over here? Let me tell you something. Sometimes it'll say 0 out of 300 confirmations. Most places only want 3 confirmations. I don't know what the hell's going on at Bittrex. I've had to wait 30, 45 minutes just to send something over here because it's 50 out of 300, 60 out of 300 confirmation. Like, come on. But once it's finally over here, you'll be able to play with it. Once it's done and it's not pending, it's in here ready to go. And at that point, all I would do is click OMG. I just sent myself 600, let's say, from the Exodus wallet. So now I'm going to go to the OMG page for selling and trading. Now, remember over here we bought. This is where we bought. And that's why it says buy. We don't want to buy. We want to sell. So over here, you would see where it says 0 OMG available, it would actually say 600 because we just sent ourselves 600. So once again, I want to do the max. I want to sell all 600. Order for 600. Boom. Hit that button. Price. Last or bid or ask. Now remember, the bid is lower than the ask normally, right? Because the person asking is the one that's selling it. The person bidding is the one who doesn't have any, wants to buy some. He wants the cheapest amount, right? That's why ask is $8.06 and the bid is $8. Again, if you want this order to fill as fast as possible, in this case, you're going to want to do the bid price. But what you might do, I'll hit that, and it tells me that price is 81,001. So what I might do is make it just a smidgen smaller, 81,000. It's a tiny bit cheaper. In other words, I'm willing to take, maybe $7 and 99 point something cents. It just helps the order fill faster. But if you don't mind waiting and seeing, because remember, these things bounce around all day long. Chances are you could go in here, hit max, price, last price it sold for, I'm happy with that. Sell, good, I'm done. And then wait for the thing to fill. And then once it's done filling, you won't have any OMG available, but you will have, is this Bitcoin. See over here in the top left where the chart is, BTC to OMG. So we know we're going to get Bitcoin back. This isn't an Ethereum for OMG exchange. This is a Bitcoin for OMG exchange. So when I sell this, I'll get the equivalent amount of Bitcoin owed to me when it's all said and done. So at that point, I'll go back to my wallets. I'll erase OMG. Because remember, any wallet that has a balance in it is going to show up first. I don't have to go through 29 pages of stuff. At the same time, I know the symbol of Bitcoin is BTC. I could just type it in like that. And don't be confused with Bitcoin Dark, BTCD. Anyways, there's Bitcoin. I'm not hitting the plus. Remember, we're not putting more Bitcoin here. We want to take it out. Hit the minus key. Again, you sometimes got to hit it twice. And it will ask you, where do you want to send this? And then you're going to put in this case, you got some Bitcoin now, put it in your Exodus wallet. Send it to the receiving address of your Exodus wallet for Bitcoin. And that's it. That's how you trade on these exchanges. Normally, these aren't taxable events. Normally, when you go to sell off for cash, money, like on Exodus or Coinbase, usually that's when it matters for tax purposes. Not to mention the money you put into this essentially goes as a write-off because it's money you use to invest in stuff, in these things. So that's, and I'm not a tax professional. You're gonna have to ask your accountant, tax guy, whatever, obviously, but that's really it. That's how you trade. That's Bittrex. Again, there's Kraken. There's other ones. I haven't been on Kraken in a long time. It looks different than this one, but the premise is the same. You got your bid price, your ask price. You'll figure it out if you're going there. So I hope that this video has helped everybody. And yeah, stay tuned to my YouTube channel. I talk about this stuff all the time. Sometimes I have some really good information that comes out about a token or something. Cliff High's reports, he's got these incredible reports sometimes that are just phenomenal with predictions on prices and where things are going to go. I repeat a lot of that on my channel. And you can kind of follow what I do if you want, or if you don't want, you want to go on your own, go for it. You'll have a fun ride, I'm pretty sure. Just keep in mind, these things are extremely volatile. We had $11,500 Bitcoin drop to $8,500, then back up to $10,500, then down to $9,000, $95, and then it's now it's back up around 10 again. These things sell off hard, but they go up hard too. So don't get caught in, oh no, it's way down, let me get out and take my loss and leave. I should have never done this. Just wait it out. Trust me on that. Take care.